It is the perfect weather for me to don a Tom and Dan sweatshirt, and then I get out there on my 2017 Honda Ruckus, and I act like I am a biker, and I drive all around Orlando and enjoy this weather. Dude, I love my little scooter.
Yeah.
It is. Sometimes I even get 16 minutes of dad fun out of it. I ride that thing everywhere, and right now it's beautiful, and you can do the same thing if you go to our friends at Seminole Power Sports.
Yep, side-by-side scooters, dirt bikes, street bikes. They've got
They got Piaggio. What brand don't they have? They got Suzuki and Eustace, right?
Yeah, that's Seminole Power Sports North.
So what don't they have? Because they've
everything. They got trade-ins of all brands.
Vespa, like, Piaggio,
they've got
Honda.
Yeah, if you check out their used vehicles, they're always getting trade-ins.
Yeah.
And then
I had a BDM buy my Vespa from Seminole Power Sports, and man, he made it look better than me. He put all this type of aftermarket stuff on there through Seminole Power Sports. You can do that too. You can go to their service department if you want to add some
use
things.
them all the time. Yeah. Also, they've got Honda generators. They got a huge Yeti selection of coolers, all the accessories.
Helmets, jackets, riding gear.
Yeah, I mean, it's gigantic. They're right there on Reinhardt Road in Sanford.
Don Kuhn, he's our guy.
Yep.
I get emails all the time from guys that are like, who's our contact at Seminole Power Sports? I'll tell you right. I think it's Kuhn, Kuhn.
Yes.
Don Kuhn, if you get a hold of him, tell him you're a BDM, and he'll set you up with the ride you want.
They know us. They've been with us for a long time. Seminole Power Sports and Seminole Power Sports North. Welcome back to A Corporate Time. This is exciting.
Yeah, this is really, really cool, and it's definitely something that I know you and I, as I'd like to say still newer dads, because our kids are still like kid age. You know, they're still under our care.
Yeah.
So when I see young people, or kids older, doing I don't even like saying kids, like young people, doing amazing things, and
especially the adventures with your kid is my dream, and I'll talk to him all about it.
I think all parents sort of have that in different variations, but I'll let you introduce our guests.
So Scarlett is on Zoom with us right now, and her dad Flint. How you doing, Scarlett?
Pretty good. How about you?
Good.
So,
also like to point out that she's 13 and more professional in the first 30 seconds of us talking to her than any other guest we've ever had in the world. So thank you for she's there, she's got a good setup, she's ready to go, she looks great. I mean, take note, comedians.
Well, the good setup goes to my dad. I've been doing school, and he's been in here cleaning up the room.
Nice job. Nice job, Dad. We appreciate it.
So, Scarlett, you and your dad, you rode your bikes from Canada to Mexico and camped along the way around the
beautiful pictures, by the way.
Great Divide. Unbelievable adventure. So, start from the beginning. How did this start, and how did these adventures with your dad even come to fruition?
Well, so we started touring when I was 2, and it started out as just a thing for us as a family to do, so that we weren't really stepping into each other's realms. Because I know that always kind of doesn't end very well, because there ends up being one person that's like a pro at it, and then the other 2 people feel kind of inferior, and then the one who's a pro is ends up being like, I hate working with you two.
Yeah. You feel a little held back. But, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So we're, but cycle touring was never anything we'd ever done before. So it was just it was something just to step out of the realm. And, so we did
Dad was
on the coast.
Wasn't Dad like a BMX guy? And so Dad
he was. So he would do a little BMX. He would do mostly trick riding and things, but no ultra distance. But yeah, he was riding his bike from a really early age. That was his thing to do.
Yeah. I mean, obviously you must have seen Dad biking and been like, oh, that's cool. And then Dad takes you biking at the age of 2. And then would you say from that point and even until now, you were kind of interested in hey, I want to do this on my own. I want to do this with my dad. Did it kind of just gain speed from there?
Yeah. So I have done some BMX. I never really got into the freestyle, which is kind of the trick riding side of things, but I would race little bikes. But I grew up sitting at a skate park watching him do tricks and running around with my little scooter and just trying not to get in the way while he would go off and ride with his friends. There would be a whole group of us coming out. So, but yeah, like that's where I grew up, just at a skate park.
So,
Just-
Scarlett, where did this idea to go on this grand adventure even start? Like, you know,
You got a plan, yeah.
I imagine like you started maybe getting into a longer distance tour riding, and like, did you start off with small weekend trips and camping? Because you guys, just to explain to the audience, Canada to Mexico down the Great Divide, you rode a bicycle all the way. How many miles is it?
2,900.
Wow,
2,900. Can't we just go ahead and say 3,000 miles?
Did you guys camp the whole way, or did you stay at some hotels sometimes? How does that work?
Well, we had, I think, a top of like, I don't know, 6 nights at a hotel, and everything else was camping.
6 is not a lot.
No, not out of 42 days.
My God, that's like every once in a while you get a treat. Did you kind of do it like that,
Yes.
or
It was more like we got so stinky and we had to get a shower and we had to wash our clothes.
yeah, ultimate stinkiness?
Yeah, so how does that even come about? When did you guys start planning this? I'm sure it took a while, right?
It did. It took 9 months total for the planning, but basically I did this ride, an individual time trial, which is basically going out and riding around as fast as you can. And I did that on the Erie Canal, which is a 370-mile canal up in New York. So I did that in the first weekend of November 2021. And then the next week after that, I went down to Florida and I did the individual time trial route, the Cross Florida individual time trial. I didn't do it as a time trial. I just did it.
You just did it, yeah.
Yeah, just did it. And then we came home and I'm like writing about the CFITT, and then I'm like, let's do the divide.
Yeah, and what does Dad say? Like when you approach him with this idea, is he like gung ho?
He's just like, sure, let's do it.
Yeah, I think you have to have a dad like that.
Now,
Yeah.
but
I think-
also it has to, like, I feel like, and Scarlett, you heard right before we started talking to you on the show, I was making the joke that I'd love to do this with my sons one day, like going on a grand adventure would be my dream.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like that idea would be coming from me, and I could see me telling my
It's
sons,
different,
like,
yeah.
I want to, walk from here to Maine, or like ride our bike across Florida or whatever,
Yeah.
and then them being like, nah, not so much, like they're not into it.
Yeah.
I'm into it, and I feel like if I'm forcing them to do it, then they're going to be
Yeah.
miserable the whole time. Like, this is coming from you. You want to do it. And, like, if they have to want to do it. Like,
Yeah.
this isn't coming from your dad. Like, you were like, let's do this, and your dad's obviously
Yeah, just
an
supportive.
athlete
Yeah.
and knows how to,
Flint's a cool dude.
and so he obviously once
I
you
saw
were
him, he's got
motivated.
tattoos on his legs, and that makes him cool.
BMX.
Yeah, he's a cool dad.
I'm interested, like, while you're riding for these 42 days, are you guys talking the whole time? Do you have AirPods in? Like,
Good question.
So I have earbuds because I love music, and going a month and a half, 2 months without music would be torture.
Yeah.
what
I
music you
downloaded a whole
listening
bunch of
to?
stuff, and I would-
What are you
I would
listening
just
to?
keep like one. I would just like usually keep one earbud in and just play music the whole time. Dad does not do that. He's not as much of a music geek as I am, so he's just like talking to me.
and you're not listening.
Dad, oh God, shut up, Dad. Oh,
Dad, I'm
It's
trying to
like,
listen to Doja Cat.
There was probably out of 8 hours of the day, I would be talking for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. Everything else, I would just be silent because it's like I'm very talkative, but I don't like talking while I'm on a ride.
Gotcha. How many miles were you guys
it's like-
doing a day?
It was averaged out to be like 70, 75
That's a
Wow.
lot.
per day.
That's a lot.
And was there any hiccups along the way that you didn't anticipate, like
Or
any sort of
scary situations,
mechanical problems, or like Daniel said, any things, the mishaps?
Yeah, well, no serious situations, but our drivetrain, so basically what makes a bike go, they went out in mid-New Mexico. So we ended up pushing for a while, and then we had to get picked up. We called an Uber and had to get picked up.
because but you guys basically rode your bikes to death, right?
Yes, basically, because we've been riding them. Like, we've been riding our drivetrains for, I don't know, a couple years, we decided, and that was such a mistake. And so it's like the whole thing. It's your job, whatever your job is, in your house and like in your life, that is just going to go to crap. So
Yeah, it's the main thing you need.
it's like if you're a plumber, your plumbing is going to be out all the time.
Right.
If your dad is a car mechanic, which my grandfather is, your cars are always going to be broken. If
Yeah,
your
right,
dad is a bicycle mechanic, like my dad is, all our bikes are going to crap.
Right. Yeah, because he works on the
he's
other
like,
bikes.
We'll limp the drivetrains through; they'll be fine.
Yeah.
And no,
That's funny.
It didn't happen that way.
It's super funny too. That's true. Like because Dad's gonna fix the other people's bikes, not yours.
Oh yeah, exactly. So we have these 2-year-old drivetrains, and they just like busted.
So you guys had to get new bikes. I'm guessing.
We switched the chains, and then Dad couldn't pedal his bike. Like the bike just wouldn't pedal. So I was riding at a ridiculously slow pace while he's pushing, and then he'd like coast for a while we're going down a hill, and then we have to push.
Oh, that's terrible. This is most kids. But see, most kids would during this entire time. Dad's got a broken bike. You're pedaling, coasting. Most kids would be so annoyingly complaining.
Yeah,
Most kids like what?
Yeah.
So you guys are, but this is your adventure. I'm guessing you're not doing this. You're just like, hey, this is part of it.
Well, yeah,
we got to get Dad a new drivetrain.
I'm just like, yo, we're out here, and he's not talking to me because he's
mad
worried about his drivetrain, and he's possibly going to start crying, so he's not going to talk to me and take that risk. So I'm just like riding along in silence, thinking of my thoughts, and I'm just like, I'm good.
That's hilarious.
So, Scarlett, plug your Instagram real quick, too, because you chronicled all this.
Yeah, you
this
can
whole
go back
trip
and
on
look
your
at it.
Instagram,
I urge
right?
everybody to go back and look
God,
at
the
it.
landscapes are awesome.
Oh, yeah, the photos you guys took, the things that you did, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, well,
man.
and also, can you explain to us the divide and what it is? Because I'm not familiar with it.
Okay, so the Great Divide, or they call it the Great Divide in Canada, but it's technically the Continental Divide when you're in America.
Gotcha.
And so basically you can also say it's the watershed divide because all water to the west flows into the Pacific Ocean, and everything to the east of the divide flows into the Mississippi River.
And then you guys
that's
basically...
That's why they call it the Great Divide.
Does it change? Is the topography smooth because people have traversed it a lot, or...
Yeah, is it one continual? Like, we've talked to other adventurers that do, like...
routes and paths and...
Yeah, like whether it's the...
trails.
What's the trail in the east everybody's walking all the time? The Appalachian Trail?
Appalachian Trail.
Appalachian Trail.
That's the one.
So the Appalachian Trail, or like the gentleman that rode from Maine down to
Key West.
Yeah, I forget what that's called.
and he took another, but there's all these trails that are like, well, technically they're not 100% like
all the way through.
Yeah, it's
all
not
the way through,
commercial,
but you got to jump, and then
Yeah.
you can basically, the trail runs like a ridiculous length. So is that kind of how it works? Like it goes for a while, then you have to go through a town or something, and then it start back up again.
Yeah, so it's actually not a trail. It's a route, which basically means it's a line on a map that
Okay.
just connects all these different roads, and there's some trails and mountain bike trails and rails to trails sometimes, or there's no rails to trails on this route. But usually when you hear like a trail, it'll be one continuous thing. But then when you hear a route, it's literally just something like you go on Google Maps and like point A to point B.
Map.
That's all a route
Gotcha.
is.
So you guys were having to kind of pick your way. It wasn't like really laid out for you. You knew where you were going, but you could.
Right.
That makes sense. Interesting.
You have to watch your GPS.
And you each had your own tent, right? Like you had a
Yep.
tent, Dad had a tent, and you and Dad, like one person would set up the tents while the other person cooked dinner, and then they'd switch.
That happens. Yeah, that happens sometimes. Sometimes it would be like, I don't know, we'd both set up tents and then make dinner, and somebody blows up sleeping mats, or just like he makes dinner and then we both just do our own tent setups. But yeah, a lot of times, once we got to the end, we actually discovered that worked. We started doing it. He would set up tents while I made dinner, or vice versa, because I set the windscreen on fire.
Oh my God.
It's just like, I'm like, okay, yay, I finally got it lit. And the whole thing blows up. I'm like, oh no.
What's the biggest amount of time between like supply stops? Like the most amount of time you're out in the wilderness just camping,
Without refueling.
in continuous days.
So I think it was typically 2 to 3 days, but we may have had like a 4-day drop at some point.
That's a long time.
But that was mostly for food. Water comes a little easier because you can filter out of any stream or whatever. I'm really surprised that we never got water poisoning because it was some shady spots we had to filter out of.
Yeah.
I'm curious.
That's crazy.
Can you imagine your boys filtering water?
No. Scarlett's
They're thinking
she's a
4
different.
days. 4 days between
like the Scarlett.
They bring full kitchens when they go camping, Scarlett.
my God, my wife just bought a whole
They
new
only
one.
eat mac and cheese. There'll be a lot of boxes of mac and cheese.
How many boxes of mac and cheese did you make? No, I'm kidding.
I feel Scarlett. She was born an adventurer. She's tougher than most kids her age.
Can I point something out?
I mean, is even like disservice calling her a kid. I mean,
Is
young
anybody?
woman.
I know. I don't even like
But
saying kid.
they're just
Does
tough.
anybody else? You look at Scarlett, and then we saw Flint a little bit earlier. Like he popped in, Dad popped in. But this is about Scarlett, right? But people with cool names do cool stuff. I think a lot of the time.
The
names are right, but the names are right. Flint and Scarlett sound like people.
She also has won ribbons, like raising goats.
Yeah. Tell us about your animal. You got animals, right?
I do.
What-
So when I was 11, it's like crazy chance. And looking back at it, I'm like, wow, that one walk literally changed my life. But basically, I was 11, and I'm like walking up and down the street, pulling a sled in the snow in January, a couple days after my birthday, and I'm looking for somebody to sled with me because some of my friends had said they would sled, and then they couldn't, and so I'm just like going from house to house, like, somebody needs to sled with me. I have a really good sledding hill, but sledding is no fun when you're alone.
Exactly.
So I'm like walking up for an hour, and I have an hour, and I'm just pacing our street, and we live out in the country, and I walk up to the neighbors, and she's 2 houses up, and I remember she had goats, and like every couple months or something, we ended up going up there and like feeding babies, and I remember she had goats, and I remember she usually let me feed babies. So I'm like, okay, I'll go up and see if she needs help feeding babies, or if I can see the babies. And she's like, and I went up and I saw her husband, and he's like, come back at like 10 tomorrow morning. She just fed him, but that's when she feeds him usually. Like, okay, sounds good. So I did, and the lady's name's Jen, and I would just feed and I fed babies, and they were so cute, and I had so much fun. And I came back the next day, and then I'm like, can you teach me to milk? Because she has a milking operation, Camelot Valley Fine Arts and Goat Cheese, and she milks and she makes cheese.
That's cool.
And I'm like, can you teach me to milk? Because I think it will be fun. She's like, yeah, sure.
But
And
you're doing all of this on your own, which is
Right.
so crazy. Is that like with my kid, there's no such thing as like I'm going to go wander the streets and find something to get into. That's not a thing. Kids don't do that anymore. You're like a rare breed. Like she had her sled.
Yeah.
She's just like, well, I have to find something to do.
They're up in Canada.
They're from Pennsylvania.
Okay. I didn't know that. I thought you lived in Canada.
No, they flew to Canada to start their route.
They just went there
Yeah.
to do it.
Oh, okay.
This is a typical run-of-the-mill North American
Oh, okay.
13-year-old, but
Yeah, but you
she's a
live-
self-starter.
Yeah, but I feel like you live out in the country, and that's
Yeah, there's goats, yeah.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
kids are
Yeah,
harder.
we live out in the country, and and your dad's just like, I have something to do. Don't bother me.
You can either
Go.
ride a bike or feed a goat. That's your
And, like,
choice.
it's normal for you. It's normal for you. It's like it's normal to just be booted out of your house. Just like go find something to do. Don't sit. Okay.
Oh, wait
So
a
it's
minute.
like-
My kid only sits.
Exactly.
Like, I wanna watch YouTube over and over.
Everybody here, like we love winter because it kills the ticks. That gets on the animals, but at the same time we hate it because you can't go outside and like do stuff. Like right now, or no, it stopped. But it does this thing. I call it the Pennsylvania drizzle because I lived in North Carolina and it never did it there. But it's like just enough to make you be like, I'm not going out there.
Yeah,
That's
just
too
enough.
crappy.
Yeah, it
but
makes it
it's
gross.
not really enough to make the creek flood, which is down at the bottom of the road. So it's like that, and that happens constantly here. And then it'll be like sunny, and you're like, okay, I can go outside. And then you go out there, and it's like 20 degrees, and I'm like, no, I'm not going out there.
20 degrees.
It's too cold.
No.
So,
My sons don't
I said,
even
we
want to go
can't- we
outside
can't
at
wait for
72.
it.
Right, perfect weather. Yeah.
It was at 68. They're like, that's a little too
too
cold.
windy on the beach.
I know. Well, yeah, you're in Florida, aren't you?
Yeah,
We are, yeah.
They
It
never
is-
want to go
yeah,
outside.
It is a high of 80 today.
Outside?
Yeah. And
They
our
hate
kids-
outside.
Yeah, our kids are like, outside is gross.
Yeah, they want to
They're
live in the
so
internet.
pale, Scarlett. They're so pale.
Roblox.
Well, before we let her go, let's let her plug her Instagram again.
Yeah. What's your Instagram?
I'm Sorgan's Pond, and then it's Meadow Mountain.
Okay, yeah. It's at meadow_2_mountain. And yeah, check her
Yeah.
out. Thank you
And
so
it's
much for
in
your time.
Sorgan's_Pond.
There you go. Give Dad some love from us, and thank him again for allowing you to be on the show.
Last
Okay.
question, real quick, Scarlett. Did you do this in the summer, or did you just take time off of school? Like, how did it work?
So I'm homeschooled, but yeah, we did it during the summer. It started in August, so I did kind of cut into the school year a little bit, but
I think
This is a learning experience.
after
I'm not
talking
joking.
to you,
Yeah.
I
If my
don't
son's
think you
this-
need anything.
If my sons were able to do this, they could skip a whole year of school. Like this is I feel like this is a better
Yeah.
learning experience
Well,
than the entire sixth grade.
I will
Like,
also say that just by talking to you, I think I can figure out who needs to go to school and who doesn't. I think you'll be just fine. You're
Yeah.
just fine.
Yeah.
you're smarter than I am, Scarlett.
Hats off to Flint for being an amazing dad. He's
Smarter, tougher.
yeah, you are awesome.
You already got it. You
And-
don't even need anything more. You're already set.
Yeah.
You're better than most adults I've ever met.
I agree. And
Like 90%. I'm not even talking
You're
most.
well spoken. You look better. Just a better person. Hey, if you have any more adventures, make sure and get at us. We'd love to. We'd love to share them. Okay.
sounds good. We'll watch the Instagram, and everything's there.
All right.
Awesome.
We'll be there. And thanks again.
Okay.
We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Scarlett.
Sounds good. Bye.
Bye.
See ya. She is so sweet.
Every time I meet a young person that
A
is
mega
just-
badass.
yeah, just motivated and tough like that, I'm like, man, God, that's so. It makes me so happy to see that.
I mean, I got a little bit of that, but not
That's
that.
the thing of like when people are always, kids these days. Like, no, there's kids
Yeah.
out there that
That's
are
what Tom says.
motivated.
They're good.
and,
There's good
you
out there.
know.
Yeah.
yeah, and this is like this.
That's ultra motivated.
Like
though.
she was born with this
Yeah,
spirit,
that's- yeah.
and then
You can see it.
as
soon as she
tenacity,
popped up,
grit, that's all.
Is that bad? That's a stereotype. As soon as she popped up and I saw her, I go, oh yeah, this is one of those kids. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like those kids,
Yeah.
the wonder kids, the kids that are like super well spoken. They look great. They can do all kinds of fun stuff. Her vocabulary is off the freaking charts. You know, like she was describing geography that I don't even know.
Oh yeah, she's
I
homeschooled,
love
but
it.
she's way more educated than like a standard Florida education.
She's rad.
Well, if you
What a cool dad too.
internally, if you're that,
God, I gotta step it up.
if you're that motivated but again, it does make me like it makes me realize like she was born that way, you know what I'm saying?
Lady
Like, she-
Gaga.
born that way, and also with her parents like just like, hey, be independent, go do whatever you want. It's like and then learning that independence young helps you.
It does.
But also wanting to be independent and being curious and having toughness and stuff, like that's a trait that sometimes you're born with,
And
like,
wanting to accomplish.
yeah,
That's not. That's a
having
weird.
some
having a goal.
hard ass goal, like
Yeah,
let's go
that's weird.
42 miles. Plus,
Most
being
kids
13,
don't have goals.
think about a 13-year-old girl. Like most 13-year-olds, boys or girls, like at that age, want to hang out with their friends or do like they're
Yeah.
interested in
Yeah.
like
She's riding a bike with her dad.
Yeah,
for
well-
42 days straight.
yeah. Who wants it? Like it's hard.
Man,
It's hard
that'd
to
have been hell on earth for me.
But
Hard to
I would give any amount of money to do that.
Well, hard,
Right.
but now when you're 13, I'm
hated
13.
my dad.
I don't want to hang out with I don't even want to go to the movies with my dad
Nope.
at 13. You know, I feel like most 13-year-olds are like that. Like they don't want to hang out with their parents. It's all about their friends, and
Yeah.
and especially since she's like into social media, you would think that she would be motivated by like what people are motivated by social media, the
Yeah.
likes and what
I love it when
being
you
mad.
see people like that, like kids like that, and you look at them and you're like, oh my God, you're so well adjusted. You know what I mean? Like you're so
Kids are all right.
Yeah, you're so we're gonna be okay. We're gonna be all right, everybody.
Well, no. Well, that's the anomaly. I've never even that was 1 out of 10,000.
Well, there's
one
others
out of a
out there
million.
though. It's just sometimes you get jaded and you
Yeah.
think all the kids are bad or negative, and it's not.
Well, the 99%. This is the 1%. So 99% are messed up. They don't
No,
lazy.
I don't believe that. I don't believe
This is the anomaly. Anyway, all right. Bye bye. Welcome back to a corporate time. I have to say what just happened because it's
please
hilarious.
explain.
I gotta leave.
Okay, we were doing a warm-up, and we're all talking, and
So-
then we had guests scheduled to come in, and
Yeah.
I saw a few of them come in.
Okay, well, let's just explain.
Okay.
So, before we start our Twitch broadcast that we do every single day, Monday through Friday,
Yes.
right?
And I'm really bad at plugging it. Like, we're a really good live stream,
Yeah.
but I never talk about it.
And just so everybody knows, Twitch is an app you can get on all your phones.
Yeah.
And once you follow us, twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live.
Yep.
And once you follow it, it'll alert you every time we go live.
Yeah.
And
you can listen to audio only. You
Yeah.
can but we're still live. We're live from our studio in Orlando. We're also on YouTube at Tom and Dan Live.
and we record a corporate time on that and a mediocre time on that. And before we record, sometimes we do a little warm up.
Because we're older now. We're
Yeah,
old.
yeah, yeah.
Like,
It's
I'm
like
old.
Brady has to
Yeah.
stretch a while.
Yeah.
Like, I think
Like,
it starts in the morning.
I can feel myself dying, so I have to
Yeah.
like get up and like move
around.
and like we're talking. So we're doing like a bit of the warm up.
Yeah. And so Daniel, he's like, hey, I'll start up Twitch. I'll do a warm up. Usually, our Twitch regulars they get the notification that we're broadcasting.
I get
they
in
pop
there, and start
in.
slapping them around. a
Although
little
they
bit.
always say they never get the notification. It's fine.
Right, yeah. And
So-
our app sucks.
Just check in around 10:30, guys.
They pop in, so we just start talking to them. Like you're not even really doing the show. It's just
Sure.
like you're talking to them about this, and then we started talking about Samantha's trip, which we'll talk more about on the BDM show.
Correct. Sign up at TomandDan.com.
And then we were talking about some people making comments on Samantha's pictures about certain things.
About her
Certain things.
Yeah, about
One
boobies.
specific thing.
Boobies. Not
There's a
one
particular
specific-
Two specific things.
Yeah, I was gonna say too. You don't have one big boob.
So
that'd
on,
be disgusting.
On Twitch, especially
And
during the
cool.
warm up, it's uncensored, right? So as we're talking, we're waiting
Yeah.
for.
And we're just winging the T word around like
Yeah, yeah.
like madmen.
And so we knew
It's a good word.
The guys from Florida Smash Beer Fest are coming in,
Yeah.
and Hourglass
Single
Brewing
malt, single hot, buddy. Come on.
are coming in to promote this weekend's Florida
Yeah.
Smash Beer Festival.
Yeah. And
So-
we're alcoholics, so we're hearing this, and there's nothing we like better than the T word and beer.
So we knew, and then as we're doing the Twitch warm up, we see the door open, and then the
I
beer
see
guys,
the beer guy, and you know it's beer guys because you
Yeah,
see
yeah.
flannel, you see beards,
Yeah,
you see
yeah,
dad
yeah,
hats.
yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
you see them coming in. You're
Yeah.
like, oh, it's the beer guys.
I know beer
Yeah,
guys.
because they usually look bearded and smart,
Yeah, yeah.
and they look like beer. Human beer men.
I like the smart part.
If
yeah,
if
you guys look smart.
If you put a lineup, I'll tell you who's a beer guy, right?
Beer
So-
guy, beer guy, nerd, beer guy,
but I don't wanna-
comic book man.
I don't want to stereotype everybody
No.
because everybody gets mad when I stereotype everybody because
Right.
they're like, stop
Well, I
stereotyping
think people
everybody.
get mad because it's dead on, and then they get real mad.
And then so I see the beer guys walking, and then we know, and then we're like finishing up.
And then
Now,
I even leaned in
we
a little
are-
bit because I'm like, the beer guys are here. Let's give them a little extra T word.
yeah,
Let's be
yeah.
a little
So it's
filthier.
T-word.
Let's be a little filthier for the beer guys because that's what they want. They love us. We
Yeah,
love
yeah.
them. They give us beer, and what do we give them? Our words. We pour our filthy words on top of them.
So we are T-word crazy.
And
Yeah.
have my Instagram up on the screen,
Yeah,
guys.
really,
to just
yeah.
random men
And I'm
in
just
the.
zooming into your cleavage. I'm running through your cleavage.
Then I do the joke where I say I want to read the comments, but it's really just on to see the pictures.
Yeah,
and it blows
I-
my
I
headphones
did the
off.
math.
Yeah. You do the old, I saw it.
It's the Three Stooges.
Yeah.
Sometimes I want to poke Daniel's eyes. So we're T-word crazy. So then we finish that up.
These guys are too young for Three Stooges references. Nobody here knows. Everyone's like, what
I don't
the
even know what that is.
hell are they
I hate
talking
the
about?
I
Stooges.
got a little bit.
Like their hair. Anyway, so then we finish, and then I usually jump up, and then I go and want to shake
No, you don't.
our
You don't want
guests'
to
hands.
jump up and run
No.
to shake hands.
Because I don't want them to think we're ignoring our
Right,
guests.
right, right,
We're so I
You go in there, hey, you had to finish up our T words.
So I walk in, I'm like, hey, what's going on, guy? I see some Hourglass
Yeah.
shirts and everything. So I'm like shaking the beer guy's hands. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
beer guy, beer guy, beer guy. Then I see buff Latino man standing there, which then I'm like, oh, my
And
stereotype's
then
all wrong.
he was like, I'm here for the table. I'm here for the table.
Well, I shake his hand. I'm like, hey, thanks for coming here. And then he's standing there, just standing there, he doesn't say anything. So then I start talking about
It's like, what the hell is happening
So
right
He's
now?
all buff and tattooed.
Yeah.
He's like a
Oh,
buff.
dang, I missed him.
Yeah,
So then I'm like, I guess like a buff tattooed Latino men are getting into the beer game. I'm like, I was wrong about stereotyping. It's just bearded white dudes. So then I'm like, come on the couch. And
He
then,
thought it was a variation of the bearded white guy.
and then I'm bringing him. He almost came in. And
Yeah,
then
I did.
he's
Well,
like,
because
I'm
we were
here.
saying the T word and we had Samantha's boobs up on the screen, and he's like, I will stay. I will stay.
And then he's like, I'm here to deliver a table. And I'm like, oh, sorry. And then I go outside. I'm like, I don't. And everybody everybody gets confused
It's like
because
rooms to go.
we're
my
Unit
God.
A, and then there's Unit B and C behind us.
Yeah.
And then
I can't believe we got that chair.
I know.
Yeah.
It was behind. It was
behind
back
the
door.
trash cans. Yeah, we found it. All right.
Anyway.
All right. We got that out of our system. Let's do it.
Bill and Eric are here. How you guys doing?
Good, man. Killing it.
Pretty good, thank you.
So let's talk about the Florida Smash Beer Festival happening on Saturday. You can get your tickets. Let's explain how to get the tickets.
Yeah,
Easiest way.
Anytime, you can just go to flsmash.com, and we're on Eventbrite also.
Okay,
Man,
Eventbrite.
that Eventbrite. Everything's on Eventbrite.
flsmash.com, and this is all to benefit A Spoonful of Hope, which me and Daniel read about the charity. It's awesome.
Yeah, it is really, really cool. Like giving people culinary skills, so when they get back out into
The workforce,
Orlando, which is basically hospitality land.
Oh, yeah.
You can get yourself a job and prop yourself up and get yourself going. And I love that.
It's also solving two huge problems where there's not enough employees in the hospitality industry. And people
Properly
are
trained too.
Yeah.
You need the knowledge. You need the training.
And so, if you want to get in the industry and you get the training for it, you could make a killing.
Oh,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? And you can work your way up, and you can get the hours. And there's not a
Orlando
so if you
would
work
be
as
a
much as
very
you
nice
want.
place to do that.
It's a really nice merger of like not just helping the local community, but giving them skills so that then they can go on and do their own thing.
Yeah.
So it
Good
was,
for everybody.
The facility's incredible too. We've walked it a couple of times.
That's dope.
Just a massive facility. They're a derivative of
Second Harvest.
Yeah,
Second Harvest Food
Sure.
Bank. So overall, their facility's kind of crammed packed together, but it's just massive.
How did you guys end up finding them, and how did that become like a target? Because again, Tom and I, the more we read about it, the more we're like, wow, people need to know about this stuff. It reminds me a lot of like iDignity. Like I like these charities that are a little askew, a little like iDignity
Yeah.
helps people get their identification card so they can. People don't think about
Go
it.
on,
Again,
vote, do
people
whatever they
don't-
want to do.
But this culinary, getting the skills to be able to get yourself a job, you don't really think of that as being something that you could actually help or being as a charity. So how did you end up finding them?
I don't remember. It was probably 2 or 3 years ago. Or
Yes, I have the story. The
Oh,
backstory.
Oh wow!
Oh,
like
baby, I'm
like
glad
one
you
guy
do.
doesn't know, and you're like, "Excuse me, I do know."
I did. I'm glad you did.
Shout out Liz. She's not with them anymore, but she was a very pushy salesperson.
Love it.
And she came in, and A Spoonful of Help also produces like honey and cookies and basically things they'll sell to local stores.
Gotcha.
And they get the proceeds. And she came into Hourglass and pushed that product. And we checked it out. It seemed interesting. And the more
you
we
go.
dug into it, it was like, wow, this seems like a pretty exceptional program.
I love it.
So we started working with them from there.
Yeah, mentioned
That's
it to
awesome.
them, and they jumped on it.
Being pushy as a salesperson is a benefit.
We're not good at that.
No. I'll
terrible
ask.
at
I'll be like, hey, you want to advertise? They'll be like, I'll think about it. Then I'll be like, I'll never bother you again.
I am
I
so
will
sorry.
never. I'm like, I'm sorry.
I'm really
that's how
sorry.
it goes.
I will
Yeah.
never ever email you about this again.
Even
Maybe
if we
you
get
even
something
want
good.
to. Yeah.
The person may be, you know what? This sounds pretty good, and I'll be like, I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry I took your time. I really hated it.
Yeah. I will leave
I'm
you
the
alone.
same way.
So
I'll pay you.
Let's
Yeah.
talk about the uniqueness of single malt, single hop,
Yep.
smash. Like, is it that those are all you can use? Is it like just a trying to simplify the beer process and just make really quality, tasty beers? Is that what we're going for with this?
So traditionally, yes, that's all you could use. A single malt, a single hop, and then essentially the only difference is your yeast or your
Gotcha.
fermentation profile.
Amount of grain.
Yeah, the amount of grain, But in ours, we allow for a little bit addition, and this year we said you could add one random adjunct, which would be any sort of fruit
Gotcha.
or treatment on top of them.
Sure.
Candy bars.
Okay.
Or
Yeah.
hops.
Hopefully not candy bars.
Hopefully
Right,
not
right.
candy
Yeah,
bars.
but I mean, people
that
will.
happen. Yes.
Yeah.
The beer that won it last year, so it's a competition. There's a judge's choice and a fan choice, and the beer that won last year was a peanut butter ice cream beer.
Really?
Yes.
Like
We
adding,
had a peanut butter beer one time that was damn fine, and
Yeah,
I
yeah.
always thought it would be stupid, but I remember it being really tasty.
And like a porter, especially,
Yeah.
or a stout.
It was a peanut butter porter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good.
Drinks
That was
easy.
the Red Cypress days.
Yeah, the Red Cypress
Yep,
days.
I
That was a
remember
good. That was a tasty beer. I saw
Showed up.
Ryan yesterday.
I know he was pushing a couch.
Yeah, he was pushing a couch.
So how do you
Sofas and suds. It's not like he was homeless pushing it out. Just ran out.
Jesus!
I gave him $1.
Yeah, I gave him $1. collar. You know, I went behind a dumpster with him.
awkwardly fell silent, and I was like, I don't want people to think.
I literally went behind a dumpster with him, and I cannot tell you what happened. It was
I
aggressive.
did whisper, get a job.
Get to work.
Somewhere in Sanford.
His lips were so ashy.
So, like when you infuse a flavor like peanut butter ice cream, like
You
how
have peanut butter ice cream infused to your bumper.
Oh my god, is that still there?
His kids left. When they get bored of
it was
things,
some other,
they
like,
just laid it
The
on his.
Klondike
on the
bar.
rear-
They laid
rear
a
bumper?
peanut butter Klondike on his bumper, and it's been there for like 5 years.
I think it was one of my friend's kids. I don't know. It may have been Tommy Max. They were lazy. Like when you're infusing a flavor like that, does it matter like how do you
do it, right?
First,
like,
how do you do
let's
it?
take the candy bar thing. You said candy bars. Let's just run with that. Do you
Is it a powder?
actually
No, you would
lay
deconstruct. I mean, people do that. I think a majority of that would be for photo shoots.
Right.
Let
Photo shoots.
the brewer handle it. I'm
No,
not.
like that's cool photo shoot stuff. And when I first started really brewing as a job, I tried to make like a Halloween candy milk stout.
Gotcha.
And it turns out if you just put a bunch of candy bars in something, it's waxy. It sucks. It's not good.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
So
you
really,
won't get the
need to
flavor.
use the ingredients.
The deconstruct.
Exactly.
Okay, so you kind of deconstruct it, make it a little smaller, and then use elements of it to kind of recreate.
Because all those things have like like soybean oil
Sure.
and like random stuff that's like not good in beer.
right, and
So-
probably not good for you anyway. So I mean, if you want the beer to be pure, you don't want that in there.
It does affect head retention, like all sorts of little.
For sure.
And is it like a powder? Is it like you're the
peanut
cocoa
butter.
powder, peanut butter powder?
I mean, really it's up to breweries. I mean, some people just go straight to extracts, which is fine. We don't use extracts ourselves, so we'll use. There's like PB2, which is like a
I
defatted
love PB2.
peanut butter powder. So if we're
That's beer world
peanutting anything, that's what we're using.
Really? So
Yep.
a lot of people use the PB2. That stuff's
Oh, yeah.
expensive as hell.
so
It's crazy expensive,
You
man.
can get non PB2
Right.
brand peanut butter powder cheap online.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to dig into that.
I'm curious too if you are like a beer professional and really know what you're doing, a brewer, right? And then you're brewing a single malt, single hop beer. What are you looking for if you're judging this contest? Because like I feel like the subjectivity of a regular judge just having the peanut butter ice cream beer, you're like, oh, it tastes like peanut butter and ice cream. I like it, but it could not technically be a brewer's choice. Because
Right.
some other beer could be like, well, they did this super unique hard thing to pull off, and this beer did it, but
Right.
it's not a peanut butter ice cream, but
Yeah,
it's really
uniqueness,
good.
and then there's really good, proper, well done.
Yeah.
And I guess that's
How does that work?
Yeah.
That's actually why we started the judges' choice, because originally it was just a fan choice, and basically whatever the craziest beer was won every year.
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is cool.
The fans are stupid, I found.
Our fans especially, the guys that listen to our show are literally the dumbest.
Everything they want, I'm
Yeah.
like, that's dumb.
Yeah,
But
they're
you
so
don't know what you're
stupid.
talking about.
And I'll even add
You're
on,
influenced by everything.
they're dumb and they're disgusting. They're disgusting.
We can influence
Yeah,
your
yeah.
decision easily.
I mean,
so
I like
dumb.
I like
Sorry.
those things too.
Yeah. I like to.
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
You put a pie in this beer?
Yeah, I'm
I'm
good
down.
with
I'm
gonna
it.
try
But I
it. I'm
also
gonna
like
try it.
I like a regular beer. Like, what happened to regular beer?
Yeah.
What happened to a beer that doesn't have some sort of goofiness on
And
it?
that's what we would see. We would have, half the breweries come out with their, every treatment you could possibly imagine. Beer tastes great. Tactical, right up the road, they won off of a pho beer a couple years ago.
Oh, I had that.
It was
Yeah.
ridiculous. It was awesome.
I had
It-
that
incredible.
beer.
It won. It should have won. It was great. But then you have like someone who has this really well executed
Lager, pale ale.
lager that they use a dry hop with the hop, and that beer gets wildly overlooked.
Right. I do. That's my phase right now. I was walking around at the beer fest just looking for lagers. Oh,
Yeah.
write down looking for lagers. That's
Yeah,
my new country song.
no. We're gonna write that down.
Man, because I don't know why, but I am very much into, and I never have been into
Lawnmower beer.
Yeah, I've never been into it, but I like to see what people can do with them. Like I had one that was like a fruited one, and
yeah.
it was just a hint of fruit, and I was like, man, that might be the easiest drinking thing I've ever had in my life. You know? Oh, so good.
How do the handle the judging when it comes to this? As far as is it like everybody votes?
How do people vote if you're there?
So if you're a guest, you receive a little bag when you walk up and present your ID, and it has 3 tokens in it, and each station at each brewery has a little cup where you put your tokens, so we count those up at the end, and
I love a good.
That's the people's choice.
I always
You could
feel
put all 3 in one. Or...
I always feel
Yeah.
extremely powerful when I'm walking around with my tokens, and
Oh, yeah.
and I always look dead into the eyes of the brewer.
You know what I'm doing for
Yeah,
you right
I
now.
look into their eyes
You
as
see
I
this.
put it in there. You know,
Do
what
you
I mean?
allow the different breweries to lobby the people? Because I feel like
Yeah.
I could easily be persuaded if someone just had like, please put your token in my thing. I'll be like, okay.
We don't. We don't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Please,
we
I feel
don't
like you
believe
should.
it.
For
the
love of God, give me your token,
You're not
please.
allowed to
Beg?
ask.
Can you beg?
Or anybody.
This is all I have.
Yeah. Can we have Samantha stand at the front with her tees out?
Oh, okay, then
Tokens.
Tokens, please.
Yeah.
all the tokens.
Yeah. Come on to me. Give me your tokens.
I shouldn't have said tokens.
Starting
Sorry, I
back
said
up.
that. I forgot my question.
But yes,
okay.
basically you'll see there are 2 trains of thought. People that don't give a hoot. Breweries that
You know
are
what?
just-
That's not said enough.
They're just there,
Hoot.
and
Yeah.
if you give them tokens, cool, they're not expecting anything. And then you have the ones that are working for it, and there's like cats on unicycles to get attention and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
When you said
Working
hoot, all I could think of was hoot.
Me too. Because my wife calls her breast hoots. She calls them hoots, and I'm like, don't call them hoots.
I'm sorry.
You know what my wife? You know what's wrong with that? My wife says, I'm like, don't say that. She's like, why can't I say hoots? I don't like saying the T word. I said because it makes it sound like they're pointy. When you say hoots, it sounds like they're pointy, and I don't like that.
Does it sound like it's
To me,
pointy?
it does.
Sounds like it's.
Like if she says I got to put a bra on my hoots, it sounds like they're pointing at you. Like stick them up.
Yeah,
I'm embarrassing
you're right.
myself.
Yeah, because it's the eyes, right?
Yeah, it's the eyes and the beak.
They're
It's like coming together. It's
I'm
like
sorry.
2 beaks.
Yeah.
So, flsmash.com.
Yeah, perfect.
And how many different breweries are involved?
I believe we have 36 this
Good
year.
Lord.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
a lot.
And then usually what happens is like the day before, someone from some other brewery will be like, "Oh, we're coming out to
That's
this,
us.
right?"
Last
Even
minute.
though we
Yeah.
haven't
The
We
last
got
minute.
you.
You're like the
The disorganized.
Sure, we'll find a table. It's
Yeah.
fine. So right now it's 36. We'll see what
All
happens.
right. That's
And
a lot,
it's at
man.
Ritter Park.
Ryder Park.
Ryder Park,
Yep,
yeah.
downtown.
Ride or
Longwood.
die, bitch.
Yeah. And
Longwood.
What? Why'd I say that?
so get your tickets
Long way.
this Saturday. Guys, I appreciate you coming
Yeah,
in.
thanks for
Appreciate
coming
it.
in, y'all.
course, man.
Appreciate it.
flsmash.com.
Yep, go there, do some good for charity, to try delicious beers, all courtesy of our good friends Hourglass, who we love, love, love.
It's great being outside and drinking beer at a beer festival. Like we
This
had a
is
blast
the weather.
this past
This
weekend.
weather,
Yeah,
right?
Like,
it's
I
perfect.
just want to keep it going. Like,
It's
I feel
perfect.
like we got a beer fest today.
Let's
Let's go.
go.
We
Yeah.
shifted to this like 2 or 3 years ago, which was awesome because the weather now, we were doing it in the heat of August. So,
Oh,
like,
my God.
We've done that
yeah.
before.
miserable.
Yeah. I feel like
Done
we're
that
just,
too,
I feel like we're
Floridians.
just following your model to ship.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I
We've
don't know
all
why
found
we
the
think
same
of
hat.
August 1st. We're just like, what are we doing in
At
August?
the time, it was great. At the
Then you
time,
do it,
it
you're
was
like,
great.
oh,
This
I
was
forgot.
miserable.
How do we forget? we were living our own life.
Yeah,
It's always,
same.
We only had one person get stretchered off that time.
Oh, it was one time. Yeah, just
It was-
one.
no, he was wearing all black. It was
Oh, my
bad
God, the
decision.
goth kids out there at the beer fest.
He had
My
leather
God.
pants too. I think.
Oh, that was Chapman.
Yeah.
all right, we'll
It's gonna be.
we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with more corporate time.
It is.
Uh-oh.
I'll have to do it this way. It is a corporate time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
Tom.
Samantha, our producer, is here. How about my pipes, man? Hello. Sounding bad, right? I sound like, well, we've been working so much. Tom is such a slave driver here. We do 5 shows a day every day,
He says never enough.
6 days a week. And we said we were going
And
to.
then all the events on
Yeah.
all the weekends.
We said we're going to pull back, but we're not. We're
I
pulling
mean,
back.
double down.
Yeah, we're pulling forward.
Yeah. Listen, do you want to...
The best.
You know...
You got to get the best.
I
We're
mean,
sounding the worst.
We are sounding the worst. Now, it'll warm up. I just got to scream a little bit, and I'll blow the nodules off of there.
we did in this environment and how the entertainment industry is,
Yeah.
and then there's so much competition. We just got to
Yeah, you
work
can't
harder
stop.
than
You
the next
got
guy.
to kill yourself. You got to
Oh,
go
yeah.
until you're dead.
Yeah.
we
then
work harder than every guy.
Yeah. We're gonna do it harder.
You got to go harder,
God.
harder, faster.
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. No way I could sing a new one this week. Not this week. Tom wanted to do a bit. He called it Weird Job Wednesday. Dan really likes it. Tom says that's bullshit. It's another weird job Wednesday. The chat room is laughing at us pulling back. What are you doing? What is your job? We are, I swear. Neat? Are you tidy or are you a fat slob? Do you make lots of money and you sit up in your tower looking down on all the people who are working by the hour? It's a weird job Wednesday. Just another weird job Wednesday. Oh yes, it's weird job Wednesday. Just another weird job Wednesday. Thank you, Tom. Thank you.
Weird Job Wednesday brought to you by Streamline Florida. If you're looking for anything mortgage related, talk to Brian Zymel directly.
Yeah.
Call him. His cell phone number is on streamlineflorida.com.
Could you text him?
You can
and
text
say, like,
him, yeah.
Brian, call me back at your convenience.
Yeah.
Please, my name is Steve, 407-896-1121.
Maybe your parents are interested in reverse mortgages.
Sounds kinky.
There's a lot of different advantages in every style of market for optimizing your life.
Whoa!
So we've got a new weird job that we both are fascinated with.
This is a white whale weird job, hard to say, that we wanted on the program. We did not think that these guys, well, we knew that they exist, but we also know that they are extremely rare.
It's also a weird business.
It is a weird business because I feel like you have to sell gallons of it to be good.
Sir, what is his name?
Yeah, what is his name again?
Josh.
How you doing, Josh?
Welcome to Weird.
I'm doing good.
So what do you do for a living, sir?
I sell ice cream on the beach.
All right.
Yes, out of his
Ormond
pocket.
by the sea.
Right out of it. Oh, Ormond by the Sea. I love Ormond by the Sea.
So
Yeah, it's a nice.
It is. I spent a lot of time there as a kid, man. That's a good spot.
So are we talking about the quintessential beachside standalone ice cream shop?
Yeah, standalone, walk-up window,
Yes.
pick up.
This is a
pick
dream
up
of
window,
mine.
order window.
Okay, pause. There is a dream in my brain of me owning this, and I'm alone. I don't have a family.
Okay.
And I just run the ice cream shop with, like, me and a couple of, like, kids. You know, like, I got a couple, neighborhood kids that are helping me, and and then I just die in Ormond by the Sea. And it is
In the ice cream shop.
That is the I die. Like, I literally have a heart attack while I'm putting the blueberry in there. They're heavy, and I'm little, and I'm loading the blueberry in, and I just have a heart attack and die. And then the kids find me, and they love me so much. I cry. Oh, my God. This is an amazing dream.
In my fantasy, it's a violent suicide.
Well, like, I blow my brains out, and there is blood everywhere. Then you got to call those Service Pro guys to come, and they're like, we can't do this, and then they're tinting it off, and then they're, oh my God.
They bulldoze it. The city
they got to knock it down because there is brains everywhere.
So,
So I'm living your dream, Dan. No kids.
Okay, so are you a single lone wolf ice cream jockey?
Yeah. I'm not connected to any businesses. It's just me, standalone, right on A1A.
Do you have kids that help you? Do you have, like, young kids that help you?
Yeah. I got two high school girls that help me.
Oh my God, he's living my dream. 2 high school girls.
2 sweeties.
Me and 2 high school girls at an ice cream shop. This is my dream.
so
I feel like I'm going to hang up now.
So, Josh,
They made it weird. Why
Okay,
can't
stop.
a grown-ass man work at an ice cream shop with 2 teen girls?
so Josh,
If it makes you feel any better, I do. My family does help me too.
It does not.
It does nothing.
So,
You
Josh,
made it worse.
tell me how it started. Is this something that you this business exist and then you bought it? Did you?
Well, the thing was, me and my brother, he's actually here with me. Me and my brother had an ice cream store in the Outer Banks for like 10 years.
Oh, wow.
And then we sold that in 2020, the like pandemic. And then we moved back to Florida, and I saw this for sale, so I bought this, and it was just vacant building, and I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to keep on doing ice cream.
Yes, this is my new favorite listener of the show. This is the ice cream guy.
So let's talk about ice cream business. So
What brand are you slinging? Are you a Hershey's
How
guy?
does it work?
It's a Florida-based company. They're out of Boynton. It's called the Ice Cream Club.
Ice Cream Club. All right, I like that.
So a little bit
exclusive.
higher, like butter fat percentage than like your usual ice cream.
So it's a little more custardy.
Yeah, and the plus is too, like, they don't sell it in store, so you have to be like a mom and pop store for you to carry it.
Got it. So there's an
Okay.
exclusivity where you can only get ice cream club style ice cream at your shop. I like that.
Correct.
So, do you operate with the standard, floor cooler with the different tubs of ice cream in the
Yeah.
display?
Oh, I love that.
And then do you have a soft serve or blizzard type machine?
Yeah. Yeah, so I call it Betsy, but yeah, that's my soft serve.
This guy's really got my job. Like, this is the only one I've ever had, though. I'm sitting here and I'm like daydreaming. I can't even pay attention.
Do you offer banana splits and the?
Oh, yeah, biggest split on the beach.
Biggest split on the beach. I thought that was my wife laying down.
So we're talking
It's a new
just
shirt we're
I
gonna
know,
have to
biggest
do.
split on the beach has got to be a bumper sticker, man.
you have all the standards. How many different
Yes.
cone options do you offer?
Thank you, Tom.
Just 2 cones because it's cake and waffle cones.
You got a
but
chocolate dip?
Do not got the dips, but
You do not.
I got rid of the sugar cone because sugar cones are garbage.
They are
True.
garbage.
And like, I'd get a box and 2/3 of it would be broken.
Yeah.
So it's like you're chucking away money.
Yeah, they're brittle.
Oh, yeah.
They're brittle. And the dip cones, my daughter likes them, but you're right. It's just a waste of time. It's messy.
Yeah, I mean, I work like, 70 to 80 hours a week, so I would essentially be, like I said, I'd die in there just doing a dip cone.
Oh, that's going to
So,
be
Josh-
me. That's going to be me when I work there.
So my biggest question, okay, because we all understand how the ice cream business works, right? You have your standard ice cream options.
Well, he orders from Ice Cream Club. He has to
Yeah.
decide how
Yeah,
much he has to bring in.
and it's all about customers.
Yeah, it's all about, customer service, return customers.
So, Josh, I've always wondered because I go to a lot of ice cream shops because I
Your
spoil
boys
my
love
sons
it. They
with ice
love
cream.
it.
And so we're constantly there, and every time I'm there,
Every day.
there's a good amount of people always in
Yeah.
an ice cream shop, like coming and going.
Unintended, you're churning it out.
And they're, but even when I'm sitting there and like usually got a picnic table or an outside area to sit and eat ice cream, I sit and watch. People come and go and whatnot. But I start doing the math in my head, and I'm like, man, the margins have to be pretty small because all these ice creams are like a couple dollars here and there.
$4.
It's like, and
What do you charge for a cone?
Like a single scoop cone, $3.49, and that's
what did I say? $4. Man,
All right.
I'm good at
So
this.
what's your margins on that?
It's not much, but it's all about like I said, my overhead's very small. I got 2 people working for me because my family works for free, which is nice. They're volunteers.
I love that. Volunteers.
Volunteers.
Well, with
Helping you out.
a lot of small business, you have to. I mean, I make Crystal manage the air T&D. You don't get
Yeah.
paid nothing for
No,
that.
you don't get nothing.
I've
Yeah,
conned her into doing that. So you
I
get
don't know
to-
how you did that.
Yeah. We get Andrew to do help
I
us
don't
with
mention
stuff.
it. I don't mention anything. They just
Yeah.
do it, and I don't say a word.
When my sons grow up, I'm going to make them
Yeah.
come in here and sweep the floors or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. Go get the PA for Ross. He's doing a comedy show.
But yeah, it's probably like 30 to 40%.
Okay. So you're selling, what's your highest margin item? Is it the big split?
No,
Biggest
single
split
scoop.
would be-
Think of it as like alcohol. You're making more money off shots
Oh, no,
than
this
you
is
are like
fireworks.
mixed drinks.
This is fireworks.
Yeah.
The little
Yeah.
things. Okay, we know that like
So the big
snakes,
split-
tanks, sparklers, they make the money.
The big split is a loss leader.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely not making that much money off the split, but
It brings
I mean,
people in because it's the big split.
Yeah, you got.
I see how this works.
Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
it's like wings at a sports bar. You don't make any money on the wings. You make
No.
the burger and the beer.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's more of like it's like the wow factor because then like somebody sees it and they're like, oh my god, look at that,
split.
and then like the person behind them's like, all right, I'll order the half split, which I'll make more money off the half split.
Oh, half split.
So
Let's
Josh,
go. I gotta go. I'm hungry.
so how many customers do you need per day to make it a break even day? To make it a good
Yeah.
day,
or
Like,
even
what are you
turn a
talking about?
profit.
I mean, my busiest time is definitely summertime.
Yeah.
So I mean, to make a profit, I'd probably have to see, I don't know, between 500 and 700 people a day.
That is a
Holy
lot.
Christ on a bus. That literally that just ruined my dream job. I'm like, oh my God, that's a lot of humans. That's scooping your life away. Holy crap.
Yeah, that's
Well, the old shop we had for 10 years, there was a point in time we'd probably see over 1,000 people a day.
wow.
That's dope,
People
man.
love ice cream.
Yeah, they really do. And Sam's right. Even in the cold, like Florida, we don't really get cold. I think we're trained in Florida to eat. Man, Floridians eat ice cream all the time. They never stop eating ice cream. Like, if you go...
Especially retired people, which is like more than half of Florida, I'll see the same person that's like, in their 60s or 70s.
Yeah.
Every single day I'm open.
What's the only thing
Well,
they
they
can
got no
eat?
teeth.
Yeah, and they can't get calories anyway. It's like Ensure. It's like frozen Ensure.
So,
Yeah.
So, I mean, the business model seems pretty cut and dry as far as, like, there's not too many ways to mess up an order, right?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you'd be surprised. I mean, sometimes you can't read for some reason. Like, as much school as you had, you look at something, and then you just be like, and then you make the wrong thing, and then you just tell the person, like, sorry, I can't read.
Oh, okay. Reading
I usually go
I don't know what he's talking about. Like, I was clueless.
You can't read your own menu? What
Like,
are you
when
saying?
you were like, you
Now
were
you get the
describing...
ticket. You look at the ticket,
Yeah.
and you're making a rainbow instead of
and you're like,
I don't know,
they're just
Daryl.
letters. I don't know. I'm just going to give you some ice cream.
Yeah,
Here, take-
I usually make the joke with them that I went to public school in Florida, and they usually laugh.
Oh, and then they just take it. And
That's sad that that is a common joke.
And they're like, it's okay. I'll eat it anyway.
Yep, pretty much. So like, it's all good. I mean, I'm close to Daytona, so you get the Daytona crowd.
Oh, okay.
So,
What you're
Josh,
talking about.
and not to make it all about money, we're going to go back to the regular business in a second, but
I thought business was all about money.
what are you talking, like, how much are you making profit a year on a standard beachside
What's your
ice
salary?
cream? Yeah, like, what salary do you pay yourself? The two sweeties, I'm sure you're paying them, like, well, now you got to at least do, what, $10 an hour?
Yeah.
Like, minimum wage don't cut it anymore.
No, I pay them more than $10. I pay them pretty good. That way they don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
You know?
Especially, you don't want them telling people what you do.
Yeah. I'm usually, I'll usually do, I mean, at one point, salary-wise, it was like about $40,000 to $50,000 a year.
Okay. Yeah, that's all right. It's a lot of work, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, it's a lot of work,
and you
but
own a business.
Yeah, and it's nice, too, because, like I said, most people that come to see you are in a good mood. It'd be worse if I was making, like, 40 to 50 and, like, everybody hated you.
Right.
Most people forget.
There are companies like
That's
that. You're like
true.
moving companies, tire stores.
Yeah. Now,
like tire stores,
B&B.
everybody that comes in a tire store is like mad as hell.
Yeah.
They're like, man, my tires are all screwed up and I hate you and I hate tires.
My wife used to work for a moving
Oh, I
company.
know.
Every single client she had
Never
was
good.
stressed out and mad,
bad, yeah.
and upset about the experience. And it was just working with, because moving is miserable, right? There's certain industries that you work in, and all your clients are either mad at you or stressed out,
like
miserable,
massage,
complaining.
Like when you go to a massage parlor, I feel like everybody there is going to be like, I'm excited to see you.
Yeah, but then you get, the old money in the boot. You get the
Well,
Watson.
it's just- you got to choose what you want to do.
Every 10th customer is a Watson. Anyway, so let's talk about the advantage of that. Like everybody who comes in the store is generally happy. Kids are happy. Adults are happy.
Yeah.
Old people. Who's mad buying ice cream, right?
Yeah, every once in a while, you get that old, disgruntled person, but
These
for the most
peanuts
part,
are too salty.
yeah, it melted too quick.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
I'm
well-
sorry, it's Florida.
Yeah, can't
It's 100
control
degrees
that.
outside.
What?
Do you
yeah,
hate ice cream now, or do you still eat it?
No, I still eat it every day.
Every day.
Wait, let's,
Every day?
Yeah, which you wouldn't think because I'm like Dan. I'm a small man.
Okay.
I'm like 135 pounds.
Well, I'm not that. I'm
5'5".
bigger. I'll push you down. I'm bigger than that. I'll beat your ass.
Oh, so you're a tiny ice cream elf.
This is what I want to be. I want to work with you. We will be the ice cream elves, and man, we
Yeah,
will crush me, you, and an army of teens, and we will literally take over Ormond by the Sea.
Yeah. So it's funny because like every once in a while too, because I got your guys' magnets on like a fridge. That's
Yeah, you do.
right there by the window.
Yeah.
So every once in a while, I'll get somebody in their 30s, and they'll want to touch tips after I give them my order.
All right.
All right. Yeah, I like that. Make it weird in front of the team. Yeah, we should make it a watering hole.
He's barely making margin.
Wow. Hey,
This guy's working 80 hours a week for 40 grand.
Hey, give us
Make
some
more if he signs up to be a watering hole.
Give us some money, and we'll make your wildest dreams come true. What do you want to do? I'll give it. I'll sell
It'll
them
kill
like,
his margin.
Yeah, I'll sell them like we always sell them. You need to advertise with us on radio. $8,000 package, $8,000 a month, and I guarantee you will be rich.
Yeah, you'll push some ice cream here. So Josh, is there anything in the ice cream business that we're not thinking about that
the shadiness of it? Like, is Ice Cream Club? Are they hard to work with?
How long does a typical tub last? Like, can you get a month out of it sitting in the freezer or what?
Well, that's the thing. Like, when I'm so busy that, I'll go through, 70 tubs a week.
Holy crap, dude!
What's the least popular flavor?
Least popular flavor?
Strawberry.
I can tell you the most popular flavor.
No, we won. You heard the man.
Let me guess.
Probably the no sugar added.
No sugar, Adam. Get rid of that. That's like the guy that we had the non-alcoholic beer at the beer fest this weekend, and Brendan was clowning it, and it was Athletic. They make great beer.
I know. I just got some Athletic.
They make great non-alcoholic
really
beer.
good.
It is really good, but we were clowning on him because nobody was there.
Yeah, because everybody there is
everybody's like, I want to get blasted.
Yeah.
But then you get rid of it, and then you're going to have 10 people right after you get rid of it being like, oh, you don't have no sugar added? I'll be like, oh,
no
my
sugar.
God.
There's still sugar in that. It just means they didn't put the extra sugar in.
Well, you get some old couple, and the husband's got diabetes.
I'm gonna get diarrhea if I eat the Cookie Monster. I'm gonna poop my pants. Well, get out of here. You don't belong there, old man. Go home.
Let's guess the most popular flavor.
It's birthday cake, dude.
Vanilla.
No. I'm going mint chocolate chip.
Vanilla.
I told you.
Vanilla. Oh my God.
Plain Jane, people love it.
Vanilla
and chocolate.
What is the most favorite specialty flavor?
Probably
Mint chocolate chip.
Say it. Birthday cake.
I'd say probably either chocolate, peanut butter, Moose Tracks.
Ooh, Moose
Oh,
Tracks.
I like Moose Tracks.
I thought they had the
Let's talk
patent on
about
that,
Moose
the
Tracks for a
copyright on
second.
Moose
I was
Tracks.
talking. My wife loves Moose Tracks, so she was eating it a couple nights ago, and I was like, Moose Tracks. Are those like it's the one that it has moose turds in the ice cream, right?
Yeah.
Supposed to be like
yeah.
Peanut butter cups.
supposed to be
Yeah, peanut butter cup.
supposed to be moose droppings, right?
yeah,
Is that
yeah.
what it is, or is it feet print?
I think
Feet print aren't brown.
Well, they say Moose Tracks, but I think it's like doo doo. You're eating a
like you're tracking a moose.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank
yeah,
you.
I think it's a little pellets of doo doo.
Yeah. Thank you.
What kind of toppings you got there, Josh? You got some razzles?
Some razzle dazzles? No.
What do you got? You got Jimmy's,
Sprinkles,
Brown?
or Jimmy's?
you got brown and rainbow.
Yeah,
All right, you
brown
got
rainbow.
you got.
most popular topping.
Do
Sprinkles.
you have
People are boring.
do you have pineapple?
Yep.
The
I got a pineapple split in the summertime too. It's half a pineapple, and then 3 scoops of ice cream, and then the pineapple chunks on top. Strawberry topping, whipped cream, cherry.
that sounds dope. God, I want this job.
What's your Josh? What's your typical day? Like you got some
You open
some
up-
employees. You go in there, you do some inventory, you make some orders, you sit in the back. You got a little depressing office in the back. I love those.
A tiny TV. What time do you open?
Tiny office, no windows.
Ooh. You don't want windows and people can see what's happening. They can see you fudging the
typical
numbers.
day, wake up, go for like a 5-mile run.
Oh God, that's why you eat ice cream every
why
day.
he's 135 pounds.
I know. He's a little
Go down
mighty
to
mouse.
shop, spade all the ice cream,
What's spade?
like bring it up to temperature.
What's spade mean?
Okay, so it's like, think of it as like a flat ice cream scoop, and then you take the ice cream out, and then you get all the stuff off the sides. That way you're not wasting any ice cream.
So you clean up a little bit.
Yeah, and then, usually then I clean the soft serve, and then clean the outside. So that takes like 2 hours.
Whew, that's a lot of work. What time do you open?
Noon.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good time.
What time do you close?
In the summer, 9:30.
Oh, that's a rough day.
Yeah. Well, it's daylight till like 8:30 in the summer, so people are leaving the beach and getting some ice cream on the way home.
Yeah, I love it.
But, it's not that bad of a day. You know, I got music playing, so.
What do you play?
Inside and outside.
You got a little Sublime, a little Chopadelic. You play a little Slightly Stupid.
Jimmy Buffett,
nice.
Led Zeppelin.
You know what I'm going to do?
I'm sure those teens appreciate that.
I'm going to start rating businesses.
They do not appreciate it.
On the Tom Van enjoyment and business scale.
Okay, the Tom Van enjoyment business scale. Write that down because we'll have to remember what it's called because we'll forget.
Because
Tom Van enjoyment business scale.
Because it just dawned on me, like I've always bitched about like working for the government because
every day.
But there's an advantage. You work for the government, you'll never be fired, right? It's as sturdy.
Close.
Yeah,
maybe.
I mean, listen. Everybody I talk to that works for the government, they tell me I'll never be fired. I'd have to make an egregious mistake, like something beyond what I'm even capable of, to be fired from this place. But there is no really raises. There's no working your way up the ladder. That's it. It's like you get your standard. You're there. It's a you're there scenario,
you
right?
Did it.
And so
it's a simulation. You know, like when I play the simulation games and people go, "How do you win?" and I say, "You're not. You're just there."
So no matter how hard you work or how lazy you are, it's the standard, and then you're just there.
You should always know that because your lack of being able to, get higher. Understand though that the security is the advance.
Yeah.
That's
exactly.
what you need to understand.
Exactly. There's always a benefit.
There's always a trade too. Give and take,
and that's nice. Just knowing that it's
sure. For some people there is ultimate comfort in that.
So I feel like with the ice cream business, small business ice cream owner, that there is some stability, right? Because everybody loves ice cream, right?
Yeah. It's a happy business.
It's recession proof.
It is. It's a naturally happy business.
Your clients are happy, right?
I never thought about that way. Recession proof.
Yeah,
it is. It's like alcohol, dude.
Hey, everybody's gonna everybody's going to the beach. Everybody's
You're
gonna eat ice
probably one
cream.
step lower than booze.
The downfall to it though is I feel like no matter really how hard you work,
CrossFit people hate ice cream.
You're not really going to be able to double or triple your profits because it's almost impossible. Because I mean, you could only sell so much a day, and
you could make it a lingerie ice cream bar.
You'd have to add other items for sale or
really
something.
Make it weird. Make it a head shop ice cream store.
You can't up your prices that much. No one's gonna pay $10 for a cone.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like
it's got to be.
You're set.
Yeah, there's a certain like limit you can hit per day because there's only so many people that can be constantly coming in. And then, you don't have enough parking spots, so then people leave because they can't park.
Welcome to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha, our producer, is here. And Samantha would like to remind you that she's going to be at the Solar Bear Games on January 26th.
Tonight?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it is.
I'm there right now, baby.
$5 beer night.
That's right. I'm already drunk.
Oh, my stars.
I guess even talking about it now doesn't really help.
Yeah, it was stupid of me to say that. I looked at the board and
I forgot what day it was, too.
She's there. Plug something else.
The Smash Beer Fest is this weekend, this Saturday. That's in Longwood. That's January 28th. And then the Orlando Science Center has their Spark STEM Fest. That's coming up February 17th through the 20th.
Yeah, I mean, you can take your family to that, but there is an adult night on the 18th. It's $19. It's awesome, and I think you'll absolutely enjoy hanging out with the folks at the Orlando Science Center.
Yeah, have some beers, some drinks,
learn a little
around.
bit, and see. You might want to sign up. I'm a member and have been since Maisie was born.
It's an amazing facility.
It really is, and at its very bottom level, it's just a nice air-conditioned building. I'll just say.
Speaking of that bottom level, they're redoing all the animal exhibit down there.
Putting a lot of time and money into that.
Yep. It's going to be nice when
it's going to be amazing. On the line with us right now, you know him and you love him, or maybe you don't. It is our good friend Canadian Josh. What's up, Josh?
Hello, America. How are you guys doing? Good to see you guys again.
Good day.
Unfortunately, not in person this time, but Zoom's, I guess, as close as we can get.
I like your backdrop. I like you have skates.
Yeah, I put that up specifically for Tom in hopes that he would hate it because I just
he never noticed
this
it.
like
didn't
20 minutes ago.
Yeah, didn't even notice it.
It's fun. That's why I thought it might make Tom mad.
He doesn't care about it. Didn't even notice it.
Listen, I'm not. This may make a
He's
lot
oblivious.
of Canadians mad, but I don't like when you have a leaf in your flag.
Why?
Because leaves are weak.
Leaves are weak. Yeah.
I
The
like a
leaves
good
are weak.
Stars
You're
and
weak.
bars.
That's you like bars.
I like bars.
Bars
I
are
like
strong.
stars.
Bars are strong.
Yeah.
Stars are strong.
Leaves,
Leaves. It's leaves, not leaves.
Whatever.
Leaves?
Leaves are in tables.
They're crumbly. They blow around everywhere.
They're
It's,
crumbling. Okay,
you
there
know.
it is. You heard it here first.
Yeah. They
Welcome
blow
to
What's worse
away
than
from
that
the
is
fight.
somebody who talks to their dog, right, Tom?
Yeah,
You
we
guys
were
wanna get
talking-
into that. We were kind of doing that in the warm-up.
Yeah, in the warm up before the show, we were arguing with Tom about because Josh was like, and this was like a really like almost a moment. You know, we've known Josh for a while, but you know, we through this relationship, it's give and take. He shared something a little more intimate with us. He shared that his pug Hank, he does baby voices and talks to it and does a voice for it. He said he won't do it on the air. We'll work up to it. Maybe in a couple years we'll get it. But I was doing the voices that I do for my dog Dansby. I scratch his belly and I'm like, look at you. You're the best dog. Look at you. Are you a little guy? Are you from Missouri? Are you from Missouri? You are from Missouri. That's how I do it.
Tom, you never did that with Lena? Never any sort of, hey, girl, want some more pain pills? Nothing like that?
Snapping those flies. Yeah.
No, I mean, like I said, I scratch her back or whatever, I pet her,
This is a dog. Hello, dog.
but I wouldn't baby talk. It's just I don't get anything out of it. I understood the BDM. They
is it
emailed me. They're
selfish?
That well, no,
I don't get anything out of it.
But the dog doesn't either. Talking, he told me.
They
does.
wag their tails. They
Yeah.
give you kisses.
When I talk to Dancer, he's shaking his butt and the
No.
higher pitch. I talk, it's like he's
Doesn't
dancing.
understand
Wiggle
you.
butt.
Yeah, he knows what I'm doing. The wiggle butt proves to me that when I'm talking to him, he's like, I'm getting the message. I'm going to wiggle my butt to show you I'm getting the message. Wiggle, wiggle.
Yeah, I
Pop,
started
pop.
doing some
There's
research.
Junkie
And,
shout out.
dogs, most animals, they're reacting.
You never do research. I know this is a
80%
lie.
off of smell. No, it's all smell. Like they don't, they're not reacting of what they hear.
Well, maybe they can smell my Coors Light breath as I'm baby talking him right into their face.
It's all smell. Like they're the gibberish you're saying. It doesn't even
Gibberish,
understand.
that's an old man word.
What doesn't understand English?
It's gobbledygook.
I see him touching the buttons. They know how to talk back now.
Yeah, Sam got me onto these dogs.
That's all over my TikTok.
Okay, Sam shared with me her TikTok algorithm. That doesn't sound as nefarious as it is.
No.
And it was this lady who had these poodles, and they were going up there, and they were hitting these word buttons, and they were like, "Mama, go outside. Mama, go
Treat,
outside.
treat,
treat.
There's one that
Mama,
calls their-
give treat. Mama, give
Their
treat.
owner a bitch all the
outside,
time.
Outside,
It's great.
bitch,
It's
bitch,
great.
bitch.
It's just hitting the button. It's just
No,
you're
it
trained
knows.
to hit the button.
It
It has no
knows.
idea what the
It
words are mean.
knows.
It's just hitting the button, and then when you give it a treat, they're like, "All right, this button means treat."
Right,
So
it's
that's what I
learned.
want. The rats will do that. Like other animals who do that. Like chimpanzees will memorize
Okay.
numbers and then
right.
able to remember where the numbers were, and then
At some
hit
point,
them
he
back
will
in numbers.
find his joy. Josh, what's going on in Canada, my
Well,
friend?
my dog is so smart, Tom, that he already realized that this segment is going nowhere, and he just had to be let
Hank
out of
left.
the room.
Oh,
So-
wow.
Hank was like, I'm out of here.
Well, Josh, what are you doing? I said,
What are you doing? Why are you attacking Josh?
He's hanging out with Hank.
Yeah, man.
You're a Canadian real man. You work as some in
Yeah, he's a
some
tough
health
ass paramedic.
You know, like we said ambulance driver, but I think it's more than
Yeah, he's like-
Yeah, a
He's-
lot of them. I'm not one of them, but some paramedics I think do take issue with being called an ambulance driver. I really don't care.
Well, wait a
because, I mean, I
minute.
do
Hold on a
drive an
second. Can we
ambulance
talk
sometimes,
about
so-
that? This is where I flipped to
Yeah, yeah.
Tom's side.
Well, that's what I want
If
them to do.
have you
Okay.
driven an ambulance? Have you driven the ambulance?
Exactly. That's why I don't get so offended by it.
No, but I would
you know,
say,
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
say to anybody who is a paramedic, if you have ever touched the steering wheel, you are an ambulance driver.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, it's like the limo guy also
Yeah.
might put the champagne in there and open the door for the princess, but if he drives a limo, he's a goddamn limo driver. It's the way it works.
But why do you talk to your dog like a baby, Josh? Like
Because he's like me, he's
like,
normal.
no,
I am normal, you
no.
are crazy.
Yeah, I'm always, I consider myself, and again, it's the allure of the show. It's like I relate to both of you guys, and I consider myself 70-30. I'm more like 70% Tom, 30% Dan. So the emotional part of me,
Yeah, you know, it's 30% is
therapeutic.
waist down. Hey! Big old D.
So you
I think you're the minority, Tom. I think most people do have conversations with their animals.
I agree.
Is it
Yeah.
is it just that it makes you? Is there just something like you're on a desert island. I understand the psychology. If you're stuck there, you turn your
it's like Wilson,
volleyball
right?
into you just have to talk to it.
No,
'cause
my
we're
dog
social-
is not a volleyball. I'm not turning my dog into a volleyball. I like my dog. I say nice things to him to make him dance and get excited because I can see his reaction. I'm getting something out of that, right? I'm saying something to him. I can see him basically smiling, and I'm scratching him, and he's giving me love back by telling me, hey, I like these scratches. It's an exchange of energy, man.
Yeah, well,
It's an exchange of energy. It's fun.
You can scratch your dog without talking to it. It'll do the same thing.
No, if I talk to Dancer, he gets crazier. Because of my high-pitched voice, and I'm like, look at you, little Missouri boy. Look at you, look at your face. You are such a squishy scratch.
So now it's just reacting to that pitch and tone of voice.
I mean, if you want to boil it all the way down to something horrible,
Well,
sure. I mean, it can be anything. I mean, what? We're just molecules. You want to boil that down? What are we? We're just sitting here.
boil it down.
What's going on in Canada?
Not much. I wanted to just impromptu say this segment brought to you by these things.
Party
I
patches.
heard you guys talk about these party patches for a long time, and Tracy sent me a bunch of them. And man, they work. I love them.
them in
I
your-
highly
you're supposed
recommend
to-
if you want to throw the website up there, Sam.
You're
Party
supposed to
patch.
poke them in. You're like, that's how they really work.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're supposed to.
Well, you get some vitamins and
rub 'em-
Yeah, it's got all the
rub 'em on
B
your-
complex vitamins.
You
So
gotta
yeah,
rub it on your back of your arms, and you're good to go.
you can drink through them though.
I,
it turns out,
Yeah.
if you poison yourself,
There's a limit.
yeah, well, I will say
that thing is.
if you drink so much, you can't put it on.
Or if you are really
Yeah.
like. You're sleeping and you could die.
Yeah.
Like, if
Or you
you're
could
that
be-
drunk,
Yeah.
then you're feeling like
Or
garbage.
you could be in some strange cabin, and you might pump some fat girl until it falls off.
I got to tell you, Josh, how do you feel? Because I feel like as I get older, my relationship with alcohol
grumpier.
is becoming
A problem?
Well, and everybody
the same.
told me this was going to happen, and I was like,
Bubba told you, especially. And he found out, too. He is on the receiving end of a Red Zapple ale.
It's and now if I drink too much,
it blows your pompadour out.
It just makes me feel so bad for so long that it becomes not worth it.
You going sober?
It's not. Well, I haven't been drinking in the past couple of weeks. Not. I'll drink on the weekends. I drank at the beer fest or whatever.
He had like
but,
60 beers at the
but
beer fest.
I'm like I'm
To
not.
make up for
Yeah,
time.
you
getting
gotta go hard on the
super
Saturdays.
drunk.
No.
But
I think I used to do that. I think Monday
It
through
makes me feel
Friday,
better.
I used to not drink, and then on Saturday, I would have 100 beers.
Yeah, and it's just
Fun.
the 100 beers thing. I
Yeah,
just
you
can't.
can't
It
do
seems
it.
like I can do it, and it's fun and fine. It's just the recovery time. I'm not willing to pay the price.
Yeah.
Did you guys get the new recommendations, or was this just a Canadian thing about, it was always like 2 to 3 drinks a day for male, 1 or 2 for female. The new one came out, and correct me if this is just Canadian. It's now saying 2 drinks per week.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did update that. Yeah.
Yeah, they updated
Whoa,
it.
yeah, well,
but
that's
I mean, like,
insane.
it's like Navy
Just
Dog
quit
table.
drinking.
Why even do it?
At that point, just quit.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, you might as well have nothing. Because you need
1 beer a week? Is that what they're saying?
2.
I think it's 2
2.
drinks a
So I
week.
would do it on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Because you like if you have because all you need really is to have enough drinks to get that buzz,
To
and
kind of make it so you can't hear your wife anymore.
But it only lasts a small amount of time.
I only
That's-
feel
you
like
wanna
it lasts
keep
like
going.
25 minutes.
Yeah,
Seriously.
yeah.
I feel like buzzes for me now that I'm older. I get 25 minutes of feeling like this is pretty good, and then the rest is just a nightmare.
You got to mix marijuana in there because it actually intensifies the alcohol effect, and
Yeah.
that's the key, the hack is you do marijuana
Yes.
before the alcohol, then you have 1 beer, and you're like, whoa, I feel
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Because
So that is just a Canadian thing because according to the American CDC, they recommends that adults of legal drinking age can choose not to drink or to drink in moderation by limiting intake to 2 drinks or less in a day for men.
Okay,
Or
that's great.
1 drink or less in a day for women.
That's great.
yeah. 2
God
drinks
bless
are fine.
America. Yeah, 2 a week. Come on.
We're still
Well, don't you
alcoholics,
guys have
yeah.
the baby beers and stuff, right? Like, you guys are all wacky with your tiny beers, and you can't put this percentage in that, and right?
No, we have full size beers. But speaking of the weed thing, I've got into vaping.
Yes, that makes you so trashy. I vape too. What do you? Vape?
Okay, Tom, you're just an edible guy. Sam,
Yeah.
Dan, you guys are vapors.
Yeah, I do both.
I'm Darth Vapor, man. Like I'm the guy.
It's bet
It's faster.
I guess
that's for sure.
it's smoking is not going to be good for you in any form. Like, inhaling substance here can't be good, but I just like it. It's you get it then and there. You know what you got, and then it's gone quicker. You can kind of
control it better.
meter it.
Yeah, you can walk into the bathroom at Olive Garden. You can toot.
Yeah.
blow your mind, not know where you're at, eat 100 breadsticks, and by the time and then it's over. By the time your family's asking you to leave and pay the check.
I like the surprise of the edible, and I like the rush I get once I take it, and then I get scared for a second.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
now.
And it comes in hard. It comes in hard.
Yeah. And then sometimes
it comes in like a scary storm.
it's all different how my liver metabolizes it, whatever.
what you ate.
So it's like
if you ate a block of cheddar cheese, it would take you to the moon.
And then I also forget. Sometimes it comes on way later. Like you take it, you're like, nothing happened. Then all of a sudden, like hours later, you're like,
you start drinking, and then it kicks in. You're like, no.
You want to know why?
You're like, keep it together.
Yeah,
you want to know why I'm not on the edibles? And I think you take them earlier than me. Like if I'm going to take them, they're usually in the afternoons or evening. And if you take them in the evening, sometimes you run the risk of it not kicking in until you're asleep, and that's stupid.
Yeah, you can't take it.
That's
too late.
just dumb.
Yeah.
Unless you're taking it to go to sleep, I guess.
You have to wake up and take it an hour before you wake up.
Oh my god!
What? You set an alarm, take an edible, go back to sleep, then wake up.
Yeah. So you wake up and you're like, whoa!
I wake up into a nightmare.
Like, I'm in a submarine.
Help.
So Josh, what else is going on with you, dude?
Yeah, let's get down to business and some serious business here we need to talk about. And I'm a little bit sad because I feel like this topic has kind of died off, unless I'm mistaken. The pervert Pete versus Tuttle battle. Is that still happening, or did you guys forget about it? Have you moved on?
I mean, we forget about everything. I mean, I forget sometimes we're on Real Radio. Like I forget Tom's name. I have seriously, I forgot to take Maisie to dance yesterday. I forget everything. I forget everything.
Well, they're still at it. We saw them back and forth on
they still going at it?
No, we kind of moved on.
I think Tuttle said, tried to squash it and say, hey, I'm sorry, I put you down, I was disrespectful. And then Pete, was kind of coming at him a little bit more and made some, jokes. And then hashtag no homo was thrown around a lot.
Okay.
And the reason I bring it up is because my fantasy is to fight EJ on the undercard. If there's a boxing match, me versus EJ.
EJ would never do it.
Yeah.
He would never do it. No.
Boxing? Big gloves?
He would never do it.
He's a big boy, though.
He is.
He is a big boy.
Yeah, but he would never do it. Too much of a P word. Never do it. He's a lover. That man.
EJ, did you hear that? Come on, buddy.
Well, no, he's a lover. I know. He talks about choking his wife and stuff. I know he's good in the bedroom, but he's not a fighter.
I will say, Josh, I didn't realize how much body weight does play into fights until
I did. Andrea pushing me around like I'm a woman, push me down and slap me.
I remember wrestling.
EJ says he's in.
Oh, no. Okay.
All right.
Okay, undercard.
God, I'd almost rather watch that fight than the pervert. I almost called him Porno Pete.
No.
Who do I get to fight?
My God. Are you guys going to rub your burgers together?
I'll come out as a giant cheeseburger.
Don't say that.
Listen.
Tom's heart just stopped for 1 second. Did you hear it? It was like...
This is all fun to talk about, but when you actually get into the planning phases,
you don't like anything anymore.
Well, I'm just saying, when you get into the planning phases of it, then everybody's like, first of all, people start backing out of it. They're like, oh, I don't know. And then
I don't know. I didn't know we were going to have to show our burgers.
And then,
I'm out of this.
And then what happens is naturally you start because I've been in a lot of these radio fights, and what happens is you're into it, and everybody's hyping you up on the air,
sure.
And then the audience is into it. They're like, get him. But
at the end of the day, it is a real fight.
But then you're like, man, I don't want to really take as much time as I need to prepare for this. And the cardio,
you don't have time to do it.
I'm not running behind the bicycle, Little Mac. I'm not doing any of that because I'm too lazy. So then I start to gravitate toward talking to my opponent and trying to work out something fake with him. So then once you do that, though, the audience can tell if you're not putting your full heart into it, and then the whole show.
And I'll tell people too.
Yeah.
I'm like, he's pulling it and he's stealing your money.
Yeah. So then I'm up there and everybody's booing. And then
you have to pull your pants off.
But through the boos, that gets the fighters to really put their heart into it because they want to.
Then they go for it. Then somebody ends up getting killed.
Well, not getting
Pervert Pete hits his head on a curb, and that's all it takes. The next thing you know, he's in a wheelchair the rest of his life and can't take care of his daughter.
What I'm worried about is EJ having a heart attack because
that can happen at any moment.
That's not on us.
He could be literally putting paper into the copier and have that happen.
Your adrenaline.
Yeah, but I'm right there, Tom. I'm a paramedic.
That's true.
I'm an ambulance driver. Right?
Yeah, but you have the gloves on. You're not going to be able to do anything.
I can do chest compressions as long as somebody can slap the AED on. We'll be good. He'll be fine.
Okay.
Well, that's the problem. We don't have that thing because we didn't.
Well, Josh will bring it. They're little.
I
They're in a
can
box.
I can.
Yeah. Michael's got one. Borrow it from Michael today when you go work out.
But then everybody has to be exposed to that, and I've seen, what happens to the Bills. You watch that, and you're traumatized. That's trauma.
Yeah, but then at our big Christmas soiree, we have EJ, just like DeMar Hamlin, come out.
Oh, okay.
And everybody's cheering.
But he's in a cloak, and they're like, "That's a body double." That's what happens. Like, you put on this big puffy jacket, and you're in like,
that's not him.
the owner's suite, and everybody's like, "Body double."
He was dead. He died the whole time.
Yeah. Look at the ambulance; it has no markings on it.
Or he's gonna get in the ring and blow out both his quads like Vince McMahon.
Oh my God.
And then also Josh
EJ just keeps talking about how he's not scared. I mean, we really touched a nerve because he is freaking out in the chat room.
I want it to happen, but let's.
I mean, what? How many rounds do you think? You think you could take him in like knockout? Or you think,
I would knock him out by the third round. I'd toy with him for 2, and then I'd knock him out in the third.
Why do I believe that?
Because Josh
but Josh is very confident Canadian.
Yeah, but it's kind of like what the poll. Paul brothers. Jake Paul.
Someone give it to
Jake Paul realized a long time ago that with a good enough defense that you could basically fight like really up to a professional boxer and get away with it because it's really about just not getting caught in the face and knocked out, right? So if you have your gloves up to your face, you're not unless you're really, really poor at boxing, you're not going to get knocked out, So
you think Josh has more fighting experience because of his hockey days?
Yeah, full disclosure, I do have like a professional almost Olympic level boxer, Russian doctor who just signed up to become a BDM. So I would definitely have the training. I don't know if EJ has somebody to train with.
Yeah, what's that guy's name? I'm blanking on his name.
Who? Savelli.
So that's not who I'm thinking. No, I'm kidding.
That's not his real name, though. Russians get super paranoid. I'm like, just say your name. He's like, no, I'm not saying my real name.
Italian name.
Here's another sad thing that happens with these goof fights is that
sometimes some people get hit really hard and they poop their pants.
Not that. It's the
not that.
What's
going on with you today?
So much time training for it because it's all you care about, and then like you. You're training, you're doing cardio, you got the Russian doctor teaching you how to box. You're putting all this time and effort into
family, time away from your job.
And then we promote it, and then the people come, and like say you do beat EJ, and then you're like, oh, this is a culmination
and
of
you're standing there, your blood is running down your face.
And then no one really cares.
Yeah, and there were like 3 people, and we're at the Conduit. We had 3 people at the new, we're in the
everybody's
Conduit
drunk.
Location.
Everybody's like, I just came here to drink. Who are you?
Jolly comes up, he's like, "What you do, man?"
No one even knows what's happening, and then it's like you expect this huge windfall.
We already left because we didn't care.
And then the crowd doesn't care; they're moved on. They're already like they're too drunk. They don't even.
Well, they're
going to
want to see Samantha's burgers. They don't even care about your fight. As soon as she said, "Who am I fighting?" everybody was like, "Well, this segment sucks. Well, who's Samantha fighting?"
So it's just a lot of pomp and circumstance and training, all for really not that much of a payoff.
And I'm going to make a bold move. I'm going to make a prediction. I'm going to say it's a hot take. It's a personal hot take. EJ would never train for it.
No, I know.
He is. Well, then he's a lot of things. He's a lovely man, but he does not like to prepare for much of anything.
Then it's a Moon Jet scenario where you think you're just going to go to the ring to fight an old man, but the old man actually
punching your teeth.
He went to that boxing place. I met the guy. I think he trained me for some fight.
For like 6 months.
Yeah. And then the training really does make a difference. Anyway, Josh, we don't got too much time left. What anything?
Okay,
Canadian?
well, just stay on the Russian BDM guy there. I'm just I threw the challenge out. Other BDM, sign up another BDM. I got one. I got a $10.95 prepaid for a year. Every
crazy.
BDM do that. The
what does it cost?
reason I'm having this anxiety about your guys' show is because another podcast I listened to, somebody went away, and I just realized that I don't have the mental capacity to deal with you guys not being on the air anymore. So just doing my part. Let's keep it going, right?
Yeah, you're like a I love that phrase. Let's keep it going. I think we should have shirts that say "Let's keep it going."
Hold on,
we're always about to fall out of business.
What happened with the other podcast?
Okay, no, it was Adam Carolla. He got rid of his news girl.
He always does.
Her name is Gina Grad.
He hates
women.
Regina Grant?
Yeah, he hates
He
women.
hates women.
Yeah,
He keeps
hated
getting rid of
We
them.
know
They
he got rid of
question
Paul
him.
Bryan too.
Yeah, you should have seen what he did.
Bob Bryan has got a tumor.
You should have seen what he did to Allison Rosen. This guy's an animal.
Rosen,
yeah.
that was
Yeah.
anyway, I'm done with Corolla.
Yeah,
I'm
this
completely
guy's a
done with that guy.
monster. He's a tell him
What
that.
happened with Gina Grant?
Eventually, I'm out of here too.
Because
No, you have to say.
Yeah,
You have to say for me.
Yeah.
I think what Corolla is doing is he's preparing. He's definitely anti-California. So I think he's either going to be
Going to
in Texas
Texas.
or Florida real soon. Yeah.
I'll go to Florida.
Well, that'd be interesting. But what if he came to Central Florida?
Yeah, what if he's right
Oh
here?
man,
Well, he can
I'm
move
like, oh
right in.
God,
Yeah.
your audience is bigger.
Yeah, what if he's right here?
takes
We're like,
all of our sponsors.
Can we borrow your microphones?
Yeah. And you lean a certain way that a lot of Floridians like.
Yeah, he's just doing like one-on-one now.
You're like taller,
long-form
uglier
one-on-one interview.
DeSantis.
It may be a direct result to the podcast dilution that's happened because there was a time just like us and like everybody where because he was one of the first to do it and get popular where your audience numbers were insanely huge, and then because the market got diluted by 10 million podcasts that it's just not you're not going to have as big of an
No,
audience
you
anymore.
never will. No one will.
So then all of a sudden you go backwards where it's like, well, I used to hit my sponsors with this 1 million download number and now I can't. And now I hit my sponsor with 100,000 download number. Still tremendous, insanely huge. But with all that, then you have to downsize, right? So you can't pay your staff as much and all that. And maybe it's a direct result of that, of like, hey, I'm not bringing in. I imagine at one point he was probably bringing in millions and millions a year, probably 5-8 million.
He was
a year.
one of the first to ever do that too. So
And then
I think he's coming in for a landing. I think because he's recently divorced, wants to leave
I
California.
didn't know he got
kids are
divorced.
older.
Was it?
I did not know he got divorced.
I didn't either.
I don't know.
God, everybody's getting divorced.
Told you.
It's funny
Damn.
because I used to listen to Kroll all the time.
He's talking about his kids and wife. Yeah,
and
all
then-
the time.
But I fell out.
He hates women.
No,
It's looking that way, right?
it fell out
God.
because of all the other. I got into gambling as I listened to those podcasts.
Yeah. Well, me too. We started
You don't have
doing
the
more of
time.
this. I don't have any time to listen to this.
So he got divorced.
Yeah, about a year ago, divorced, and it's funny. He had the first interview he did was just one-on-one when he got rid of his sidekicks with Jay Moore, and doing the math, Jay Moore is now in full recovery from Adderall addiction. When Jay was with you guys being interviewed and analyzing Tom, he was
flipping
beat
out
out of his mind on Adderall.
You're right.
Could you guys tell he was like wrecked?
We could tell he was wrecked, but I thought that was just like I'm being
He did
serious.
someone's Adderall. It turned him into a psychic.
I thought it was like the damage that is done. You know what I mean? Like I didn't think that he was currently drunk or on anything, but I thought that he had done so many drugs and alcohol that that's the new him. You know, there's people you meet and different comedians you meet, and you're like, oh my God, you ruined yourself.
fried their brain.
Yeah,
You know
you're a
what?
different human.
People like Jay Moore are giving Adderall a bad name because I think it's
Yeah.
stop.
You call it attaboy, right? Like I think that's what you call
Stop
it.
taking so much. Stop getting. I mean,
Will you give me some of yours, please, and some of your testosterone?
I need it.
I want your testosterone.
I'll do
too.
anything for it.
Tom's got testosterone and Adderall.
No.
He walks around here and he has to duct tape his boner down all the time.
I do not take testosterone.
Jay
Yeah.
would start the day, he said, by crushing 3 full-strength tablets and snorting them before he even went to pee.
that's
Okay,
so
well, that's
Jay Moore.
Well, you're
Tom does
abusing
that.
it.
Tom does that,
No,
but he's
I
on the
don't.
phone with Tracy.
No. I take 10 milligrams once a day. That's it.
But that's your weed. What do you take for Adderall?
No. That's Adderall.
You
That's
take
Adderall.
20. You take 40 grams.
Now I feel embarrassed by it, like I should be hiding.
Why?
Because now
Nobody hides it.
Well, everybody's talking
How do you
about
know when you need it? Because most of the people I know who have it don't need it.
Yeah. No one needs it. I mean,
And you can snort it too, Tom.
Can
It's
I
fine
get
to
it?
snort. Just use your party patch before you snort it.
If
and
I
you're
go
good.
to my doctor, what do I say to get it?
Well, you got to go to a doctor that is known to prescribe that. It's like testosterone. Like some doctors, they'll be like, "Oh, you don't need that," or or you're getting addicted to it. You go to an Adderall doctor, and you just say anything. You just
and get it now. I can tell you from working in the healthcare industry with a physician, it's going the way of pain pills and benzos. Like, if
Now-
you like your Adderall, stock up now, buddy. 'cause
What
it's
about
gonna be
all
gone
this-
soon.
Oh God!
Can you send
Yeah.
it to us from Canada? Don't you guys have free medication flows like water,
yeah.
right?
Y'all got that
free.
It
limitless
is, but
bill.
yeah, Adderall is one of those ones that's going to be drying up. And same as Ozempic. Everybody's taking Ozempic for weight loss. That's the other thing that's going to be going
Ozempic.
bye-bye
What's
soon.
Ozempic?
It's like an injection. It's supposed to be for diabetics, but everybody's getting prescribed it now, at least in Canada anyway, for weight loss.
Yeah, I've heard about
Oh, I
this.
want
It's what
that.
celebrities take. I see
Every
the-
celebrity takes it.
Yeah.
To
So
I
the
need
point where
Adderall.
diabetics can't get their medication
I need
because so many people are
Ozempic.
taking it for weight loss.
What else do I need? And the Adderall, Ozempic, testosterone.
I'm telling you, with the right amount of money, there are chemicals out there that will dial you in great. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you can, and make weight loss.
Oh, the chat room confirming it that they know a lot of people on Ozempic.
Yeah. I mean, why not? It's a shot. That's what everybody wants. A shot that a miracle.
Casey
cure,
in
right?
our chat room, his wife lost 100 pounds on it. Wow.
Yeah.
Congrats,
Come on,
man.
EJ, get on the Ozempic, and then we can box.
Look at that. Shots fired.
Why?
You're a pro. You're a pro.
Well,
You're a flipping pro, man.
If you could lose, weight easily on this, and then the side effects are less than it is.
Merchman Eric says he's fatter than ever on Ozempic.
Well, you could eat through it. You could eat through Adderall, too.
Yeah,
you could eat through anything.
You could eat through anything. That's true. That is absolutely true.
You could drink and eat through anything.
Yeah, I have literally been given appetite suppressants before that I'm like, these are delicious. Like, wow.
More of these. Anything else, Josh?
No, that's it, guys. Just, BDM, sign up another BDM, and I'll talk to you guys next month.
Thanks,
Thank you very
thanks
much.
for the Corolla podcast update.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's kind of sad that he
sad.
got divorced because I thought that
You know
maybe
what?
he'd make it through.
I'm calling it right now. Neither of us will get divorced. And Sam will either choose to leave the show because her show's so successful or she's sick of us. But that's all. I promise that.
Well, what if we make it?
That's as good as we can. Right? That's pretty damn good. I'd love for you to stay, though. That's
What
what
if
I'm
I
saying,
did something really messed up?
I wouldn't. You'd be fine. I'd be like, you're fine.
I don't think there's anything.
You could
that
kill my wife and I'd be
well,
like,
because
"Nah,
I
you're
know you, so I know there's nothing.
No.
You're not capable of doing something bad enough for us to distance ourselves. It would be impossible.
Like I said, you could kill my
what if
wife.
I stole a bunch of money?
That's
We don't-
fine.
we don't have
any accounts.
I'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Oh, from our company?
Yeah, from your accounts.
I would be like,
I'd be like, just show me your boobs and we're all right. I like one flash.
I sit you down on the couch. There's two
Hold on a
ways we
second.
can work this
He
out.
took it a step
That's
further.
what further than I thought.
This is where we have meetings, business meetings.
No, we don't.
I've never had a meeting in here.
No, okay, well, whatever.
We've only
couch.
had meetings of firing people in here.
I know
Couch
there's
meeting.
There's a couch involved, and then there's
We gotta go.
All right, I'm on here before I get named in this lawsuit.
Okay, bye-bye. All right.
Okay.
See ya. All right.
See ya, Josh. Let's take a break.
It's got hot in here.
Yeah, we got another guest coming in.
We do indeed. We'll take a quick break, come back with more A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. Bye-bye.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha, our producer, is here. Hello, Sam.
Hello.
We are on location at Drive Shack in Lake Nona. We got here, I feel like a VIP because we're here before they open.
I'm so sorry. I did that. That was me.
That's the VIP alarm?
Yeah, sorry. That was my pizza rolls are done.
And we invited our good friend and golfer.
The best golfer I know. And you
Yeah.
know what? He doesn't like compliments. In the
not the
elevator
best I
up,
know.
we were
I know
with
better.
Mike from Drive Shack and the other lady from Drive Shack. I'm blanking on her
I think it
name.
was Lisa?
Lisa,
I
maybe.
apologize if it's not.
Yeah, if we got that wrong, it's
Jill.
Jill. Thank you.
All right.
We're in the,
Our client.
we were with Jill Lisa in the elevator going up with Jim Colbert, and I said, he's the best golfer I know. He's a very good golfer, and he's like, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't. And I'm like, take the compliment, man. You're a really good golfer.
Yeah, but you make people uncomfortable all the time.
By telling them I love them, like you are a good golfer. You are my friend.
Yeah, but Jimmy's like, I don't want to. Because now the lady's like, I got to see this. So
No,
what
she
can this
did
guy
not.
do?
She did
He
not
watches
say,
good
well,
golfers
I'll
all
be
the
the
time.
judge of that. No, nobody said that.
Everybody's at these driving ranges on TikTok hitting it and saying like people are hitting it out of the net. Some long drivers.
I just
like,
gave
they've
him
seen
a
it all.
compliment, and my whole world is unraveling.
Jim Colbert's here.
Yeah.
How you doing,
From the Jim Colbert Show.
Hell of an
favorite part-
intro.
My favorite
What a good
part of
intro.
that entire interaction is watching Sam be completely immune to you two guys bickering.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Greatest.
bicker a lot.
She's like,
I
I'm
just
waiting.
disassociate.
Yeah,
we're
we bicker
waiting.
a lot. He yells at me, I yell at him.
It is weird. She sits in the back of the Tesla, dead silent. As me
well,
and
she's
you-
scared to death because that thing is rocketing. But we were doing at one point we were doing 109 miles an hour here on. I don't even know what road. I don't even look at maps anymore. I just put in the location. I just let the
yeah.
Tesla drive us. I don't even know where we were, but
Yeah.
we were going 109.
God
So
almighty.
Jimmy, thanks for meeting us out here
Yeah.
today.
Oh, the chopper ride wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Jesus H, man. This thing
Yeah.
is, I think the edge of the earth is just over there.
Yeah,
It's
Jimmy
40
lives-
miles from my house.
Jimmy
Oh,
lives.
you live out. You
I-
live on the middle
It's
of
not our
nowhere.
fault.
It's
I
not
moved
my-
to Kentucky.
I could have gone on a cruise easier.
Oh, yeah, it's not our fault. You're the Ted Nugent of radio
Yeah,
in
exactly.
Orlando. You want to move out to the
He's
sticks.
up in his tree stand trying to do some,
Got my ankle knife.
And then you told me that I thought you lived out where there was no rules. You live out where there's all the rules.
You
some
live in
gated
basically
community.
Redneck Baldwin
Yeah,
Park, which is just the same thing, except you have tree stands.
I thought you
and,
move out there to shoot in the woods and do whatever you want in America, not being a gated community or millionaires.
5 people in our neighborhood have shooting ranges. I swear, 5 people in our neighborhood get complaints continuously because they have personal shooting ranges on their property.
When I was single, I made out with a girl in the area that you live, and she had Dorito breath. And I'll never forget it. Oh, she was tonguing me good at the Dorito. Oh, my God. The Cool Ranch Crazy.
Shack and playing golf.
It was Cool Ranch Crazy, and she was swirling it, and I'm like, this is disgusting. And I got in my car, and I drove home sad.
The description's awful. So the event must have been horrifying.
It was a party in Mark
Stop
Barrows.
talking about it. Don't even.
Have I not allowed to talk about that?
So Jimmy, how did you get into golf? Because I know your background. We worked together for so many years.
Well, it sounds like you don't know his background if you ask him how he got into golf.
Yeah.
No, well, I know by his background. I know where he grew up.
Palatka.
And the whole
A lot of golf courses in
sold
Palatka?
watermelons.
There's one.
Well, there's a lot of
The
watermelons.
trailers.
It's a goodie. It's a goodie. It's a dandy.
I like how you said there's a lot of watermelons out there.
No, I'm not here. I'm saying in Jimmy's background.
What an assumption.
No, you were in Palatka. What's weird to me is
I'm crying.
None of my friends played golf growing up.
Not surprising.
Yeah. We all had no
you grew
idea
up
about
with,
golf.
nobody that,
No one even
Porno Joe, not going to golf.
No, yeah.
Turkey leg, not a golfer.
Nobody even swung a golf club. Like
Right.
I never even set foot on a golf course or anything.
Right.
Had no idea about golf. And,
Typical Miami trash.
And so I would-
played golf. Growing up.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, I
maybe
took
in-
lessons, and then there was a course in DeLand called Southridge that we've talked about before, and I played it a ton as a kid. And then my first radio gig, or our first professional radio gig, when I was producing for Drew Garabo, he and I would golf 3 days a week.
Yeah, he was
and
a good golfer
I
for
never
a while.
got good, but I could say I got okay. I did get okay at golf where I could, shoot and people wouldn't make fun of me.
So, Jimmy, how you growing up in Palatka, small town trailer park, watermelons involved, of some sort of
water.
My
I've
favorite part
heard
of
the whole
it.
thing.
Some sort of
Yeah.
My
overall
favorite story of my
watermelon
childhood.
scenario.
You were like skinning potatoes on the
Yeah,
front porch or
I
something.
feel
It was
like
a
you were.
cartoon.
Yeah, you were out there in your overalls
I have a
rolled up.
very diverse existence.
Yeah,
Yes, that's
your
right.
job was to snap beans with your
That's
grandpa.
The
That's
beans.
exactly right.
I
Snapping
remember
peas.
the
snapping
bean
peas.
story.
Shelling peas, snapping peas.
Yeah, the whole
with
shell.
paper
all
bag,
that.
and then drinking coffee with your grandpa.
Plugging chickens.
Maybe you guys go
Yeah.
in the back and eat an onion together with a
Yeah.
pocket knife onion.
So how does young Palatka Jimmy
Oh, here we go.
get into
I'm
golf?
gonna play that. I'm gonna play me that there game with the white ball on the stick.
Because I want to imagine, me and Daniel talked to a lot of soccer players when we work with Orlando City, and a lot of them had upbringings of they were like kicking around a garbage ball
Yeah.
in some third world village.
They're
Cheap
like,
ball.
yeah, a lot of them wrapped aluminum foil
Yeah.
around I think actually who you're talking about was he left Orlando City, but his Dennis Chen, right? The Chens.
Yeah. So anyway, did you hit a tiny garbage ball with a stick?
Yeah, did you start with a broom and a garbage ball? Is what we want to know.
No, so what happened was when I realized I wasn't going to have a career in baseball, which I actually told my guidance counselor when she asked me what I was going to do, I said, well, I'm going to play baseball. That's what I'm going to do.
But you were a good baseball
I was
player,
pretty
so
good-
that's not
pretty-
far-fetched.
Pretty good baseball player,
That's
right?
not far-fetched.
But I was way more, I believed in myself more than I was probably good. But my buddy, his father and his uncle were very good golfers, and he said, let's go play golf sometime. So I borrowed some clubs from my uncle, and we went to play.
What was his name, Uncle?
God, why would you ask me that?
Well, I'm just trying to paint the picture. Can I give him a name? Uncle Grunch.
No, come
His
on.
wife's name was Bootley.
Bootley? Uncle Bootley.
I can't remember his name. Anyway, so I borrowed his clubs and then started hitting golf balls in a cow field.
All right,
That's
oh.
true. My first range was a cow field.
Did you
and,
ever just reel back on a wet one and launch a patty? I've always wanted to launch a wet patty, see how far I could get it to go.
But I didn't start playing until I was 17. If I have any regret, for the game, I wish I would have never played baseball and only played golf as a kid. That really would, because if you look at the number of people who actually make it on tour, there are literally like 5 guys in the history of the game that ever made it on tour that started past the age of 12.
Gotcha.
Really?
Like most people
Really?
who make it on tour and wind up playing for a living at a high level start playing the game at like 7, 8 years old, and it become like Phil Mickelson started.
I think
7
that's
or
like
8 years old.
soccer too. Like most of your main stars, if
Well,
you
those
look
guys
at
are pros by the
Ronaldo,
time they're
Messi,
15, so-
the guys that win, they're the guys that started at 5.
So you start really young, and that way you get the basics down, and then you kind of get a feel for the game, because really you learn the basics of golf, of how to make the ball fly a certain way, but really the scoring aspect of the game is around the green.
Did you do you remember buying your first set of serious clubs when you were like, man, I enjoy this, I want to do this, I'm going to go to Nevada Bob's, and I'm going to like something like that,
Bob's,
because
that's
I
great.
remember these places.
Right,
I
yeah.
remember especially around Orlando, because I remember with my dad who played golf, we would go to Orlando because Orlando was kind of the place you went to see all the major golf stores, because Dad
That's
got
right,
really
there's-
in there.
there's
My
no
dad
golf
was a
stores.
decent golfer. He was way better than me.
Oh, well, rewind a second, because you're hitting balls in a cow field. Where did you get the balls? Because and then you hit them, and you go pick them up at the end?
I would just walk it, and I only had
No, I had the cows do it.
and I
He
only
was
had,
trained.
I only had 6 of them, so I had to, and it was in a grass field. So
Oh, this is like the Michael Jordan peed his pants story.
And-
He only had 6 balls.
I would hit them and go find them, and then come back and hit them. And
I
would
only
just
had
do
6
that over and
balls. I
over.
would do that for 9 hours a day. That's how I became a good golfer.
But
Well, that seems inefficient.
hey,
The
you
harder
had
to
this-
get good,
look,
hitting 6 balls at a time and then walking
Wow. And,
down
and
a
I don't know if you
turf
know
field.
this, but Jimmy can hit a ball, so
Yeah.
he's walking a long way.
The goal wasn't to be time efficient. It wasn't so. And then I just kind of what happens with most people in anything that I became completely obsessed with the game, because it is extremely difficult. And if you think about the concept of the game, the
Technical.
ball doesn't move. There aren't many games where the ball doesn't move. The goal is to move the ball to a target. This is a different machine. It's sitting right there. Theoretically, it should be the easiest game on planet Earth. It's not moving. It's just sitting there.
Right.
But yet, for some reason, there's only 130 guys on planet Earth that make a really, really good living doing it. Out of 8 billion people,
Right.
there are legit 150 people in the world that you could say are actual elite players. Think about that concept.
It's
Kinda
crazy.
gross.
It's the
Yeah,
hardest
that's
thing
crazy.
to play at a really good level, a single-digit handicap or below 5. It is extremely difficult and usually takes decades to get there.
Yeah.
So,
It's like jiu-jitsu guys
And you
say
can
that.
regress. You can get 10 years in and forget how to play. It's happened to tour pros. David Duval forgot how to play golf. That guy shot 59.
I
One
grew
of
up with
5
him.
guys in the history of
What
the
do you
game.
mean forgot?
That's what I was going to say.
forgot.
The
Yeah,
definition.
Jimmy's right. He fell off
He-
the face
he
of the planet.
literally
I
fell
grew
off the
up with
face of
him.
the earth.
He used to come over. Dave, my buddy Dave. David Duvall would come over every single afternoon. I know that guy.
So-
and Jimmy's right.
So he shot 59 and 20. He was a world-ranked player, and then he had a skiing accident, came back, couldn't play. Happened to a guy named, right out here in Lake Nona. A guy out here, Ian Baker Finch. Won the British
I
Open.
remember Ian Baker
And then
Finch.
4 years later, a guy couldn't make a cut. Because the game is so unique and difficult to play at
Have you
that
had
level.
that? Have you lost your swing
I've,
and been
I've
like,
quit the game 15 times. I've quit it 15 times. I may quit tomorrow.
He might quit today.
I may quit after this.
So, see, that's
I
what.
may drop this mic and walk the F out of this.
See, I'm curious behind the
quitting right
relationship because I feel like I'm not a golfer. I've played in charity tournaments.
But I
or
feel
with
like
a
if you
co-
started playing because of what Jimmy's talking about,
I
it
respect
pulls
it.
you in though. There's
I
a
don't
gambling
know.
aspect of wanting
So
to do
stiff.
good at
It's
it.
too stiff, yeah.
Hey, very stiff.
Yeah.
Well,
It's a flip flop shuffling, man. It gets you.
Are you wearing flip flops?
His legs are.
No,
Did you
no,
know
work
his
shoes
knees
today.
are fused?
Yeah.
It's just a straight leg, like an old GI Joe.
So it seems like people have the relationship with golf. They have the same relationship with surfing and some others, like quote unquote
Jiu-jitsu?
sports. Jiu-jitsu, where it's
Quote unquote
it's more of like a culture almost.
yeah.
Of
It's
like,
a personal accomplishment too.
Yeah, like when you're like the surfers, there's something about them that's greater than just actually riding the wave.
Right.
There's like it's about
There's
the
a
ocean,
connection.
the
There's
connection.
there seems to be an earthly connection.
And then with golf, like you saying, people quitting and getting so frustrated and going back and forth with it and loving it and hating
Yeah.
it. It's like more.
Have you ever
than
broken
just,
a club with
Oh,
anger?
God, I threw one at a tournament one time, and a guy literally made a formal complaint against me. I missed a putt on the first hole for like eagle, and I literally almost threw it in the woods.
And somebody
the
complained?
Guy looked at me and goes, "You're crazy," and I go. and I made some comment.
You're like, go after yourself, you ugly piece of ass.
Yeah, I was literally angry young man.
Headbutt.
Very angry young man.
You headbutted him.
I love a good crying headbutt. My favorite Jimmy
It's
stories.
too far.
But why do you get so frustrated and want to quit? Like because it's essentially
because it seems so easy. Like, again, if my goal was to throw a 40-yard cross pattern to a guy like Tyreek Hill is running like a 3.140,
Right.
and you can't do it, that's
Right.
understandable. Physically, you can't do it. It's golf.
Okay,
Physically, you look at it and go, it's like bowling. Like, how can you not do this well? It requires zero physical capabilities. That's the theory, right? But the truth is, it takes discipline. That's the number one thing. It's just discipline.
What's the hardest
over
part?
and over the same. It
Short
actually,
game?
when you're
Short
playing,
game hardest?
Yeah, when you're driving the ball is unique, but when you're playing well, it's actually boring because you're hitting the fairway, you're hitting the green, you're making the putts. You're hitting the fairway, you're hitting the green, you're making the putts. You've simplified the game to the least amount of strokes, which means theoretically you're having less fun because you're not playing as much. but the goal is to do that.
Got you.
so
It's nuts. It's the worst thing ever.
so
It's
just
best and worst.
It is.
I
It's the
love
worst thing ever.
now we are going to hit some balls today, and I want to see
And
Jimmy.
it's going to be shameful to you.
Yeah, Jimmy's gonna.
I want Jimmy to give me some pointers too because I'm too
Okay.
stiff, and I
I'll be able to get over
embarrassed.
there. I'll have the microphone. We'll be
Yeah.
over there. We'll get
Yeah,
some
I'll
good
have the
audio.
camera.
Yeah.
Sam
will
is
have
literally
a
wringing her
stiff
hands
cam.
Can't wait.
in anticipation.
The stiff cam.
To see
Just
how
don't
stiff-
fall over.
Are we doing a little wager?
Yeah.
How are
No,
we
no,
doing
I
that?
disagree.
No,
Follow-
I mean, well, listen. One time I made the mistake. Let's go back into the radio days where I was younger than I
We're
am
on
today.
radio right now, sir.
No, I know, but it
Yeah.
doesn't
Yeah.
seem like
You're
it.
all over the place.
Back when two
This
bands.
guy's got
You know why
dementia.
this guy's freaking out? Because when we got here, he's like ordering beers and stuff.
No,
He's out of
He wants
control.
to party. He
See,
can't stop it.
He
what's
does
always
want to party. He's
frustrated
horny.
me
He doesn't
with
have
Jimmy
his daily dailies.
Yeah.
because
You need a Diet Coke?
we're both competitive,
Oh, yeah?
and back when I was in my 20s, at one point, I started talking mad ass on the radio, and then
You were very mean to Jimmy. You're very, very
What is
mean.
mean to
Both of you
everybody?
guys
No, you were calling him an old man before he was actually an old man.
No.
Now,
Oh, is this one-
No,
now
he was
I
mean
give
to
it to
me.
you.
Is
but-
this when we went to the simulator in Baldwin Park?
No, this is when we played basketball against each
I
other.
remember
because
that.
I claimed I could beat you in
I've
basketball.
never seen you even dribble a basketball.
Me
And
either.
Jimmy, I've seen
Well,
Jimmy shoot basketballs. And I'm like, oh my god, this guy knows how to shoot a basketball.
Well, I know, but because
Jimmy has played and ran basketball games.
I thought he was like every other old man, where he just
He's
said,
a
thought he was still
sportsman.
good.
Jimmy played every sport.
Yeah, I
right?
didn't
Like except
realize-
for maybe football
Well,
or something.
Well, you know
Right.
what it
I don't
is?
play football,
It's like when you
That was
dress
probably smart because you're still walking.
Yeah,
You know
right.
when you dress messy up like an old man, and then all of a sudden he's blowing your shoes
Yeah,
off? With
he can do- Jimmy can do that.
The old bum haircut?
It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Jimmy is
You put a
wearing-
wig on Jimmy and push him out there.
No, and I was like, he's perpetually dressed like an old man, and all of a sudden you get out there and he's good at sports.
Yeah.
He's physical and he's got good hand-eye coordination, and he beat me in basketball easily.
And it still bothers you? Like
It
that was like
still
21
bothers me.
years ago or something.
No,
It should bother you.
Well, because I was like 26.
It should ruin your sleep 3 nights a week. It really should.
I did smoke at the time, but I was in good shape.
I think you smoked while we were playing.
Yeah. But at 26, there's no excuse. Jimmy blew the doors off me. I had no chance. Anyway, so ever since then, I respected Jimmy's
All right.
physical abilities.
You've been trying to find something to beat Jimmy at.
So back to golf for a second, because this is what
This is a bad. This should choose golf to beat me.
I'm curious about is like everybody, when I played enough golf to realize that every club has a hitting distance that is you hit the same
Wow,
way.
Jimmy, watch out for this guy. Holy crap.
Guy's done his prep.
So what blows my mind?
He read the handout.
and I'm still not even close to be good enough to realize that. All right, you see how far, like where you want to hit to, and then you choose the club that has that hitting distance, and your swing is the same every time. So it
Or
should
you could
hit.
pull like
It should, right? But it's not there.
Yeah, I know.
But then
So-
sometimes you're using a club or you club up, and maybe
Yeah.
you don't put as much behind it because you want to let the club kind of
Do its work.
do
That's,
its work.
I
you know,
see.
yeah.
I want to muscle the I want to hey, I got to hit it hard.
Oh,
Yeah,
every
yeah.
time you
Hard.
hit, you try to hit it your hardest.
Oh, yeah, you guys are
you'll
just-
never win golf doing
You're
that.
scratching the frustration
No.
surface of this game.
If every time you hit, you just select the club and you're like, well, this
Yeah.
one should give me 136 yards, and then you just hit it as hard as you can, you'll never win golf.
I mean, it's you're.
You see people that know how to do it, and they look like they're swinging as hard as they can, but that's
No.
because they.
Do you swing as hard as you can every
No,
time?
Here's the thing: one of the most important lessons I learned young is this is. And there's an old adage: this is a game of opposites, right? So theoretically, you swing the thing harder, it goes farther. It doesn't work that way because you haven't factored in spin rate. So every golf ball, every golf club creates a different spin rate on the golf
He's
ball.
writing down spin
the
rate.
The harder
Hold on.
you hit it, the more it spins, which means the farther it goes up in the air, which reduces the ability for it to go forward. So you have to really kind of take that into consideration. So there are players that know how to take spin off the ball by the way they swing, and then players who know how to put spin on the ball.
His brain has stopped.
Yeah. There's a sweet spot, right?
I know, that's crazy to me.
The equation to make it work is from here to Maine. It is a game of variables that happens within variables. It doesn't.
And the angle of the club,
everything
the
matters.
length
Everything.
of
To
the
repeat
shaft,
it.
the grip.
To repeat it
Too
over and over.
hard.
It is.
Are you out?
Sam, hit it.
Hey
Let's go
guys, thanks so
home.
much for being here.
Bowling, here we come.
Yeah.
That's manageable.
Yeah.
See, and that leads me to, and we're going to take a break, and we're going to hit balls after this. But like a place like Drive Shack, which is
Man,
essentially
this place is freaking gorgeous.
a 3-story driving range,
Yeah.
and then they
Drinks,
got,
party time, the whole
Yeah.
nine
Oh my
yards.
God! With what appears to be 700 TVs.
yeah, and the popularity because golf has. I know that a couple years ago, people, because it was so hard, were and I think it's like
Time consuming too.
You could call it the new generation of people are lazy or don't want to put the work and effort into it takes it gets good at golf.
Right,
Whatever it
right.
is, like golf is too
It's
hard
expensive.
of
Yeah,
a
it can
expensive.
be. Yeah.
Yeah, it became,
In this state, it is.
And I feel
And
like
it's a process, like being fitted, listening to people,
everything.
Yeah.
actually listening to what they say, going and hitting different clubs to find out which club you want to play with, the weight of your club.
Yeah.
Getting a tee time, committing 5.5 hours to go play a game.
Yeah.
Especially when you have
know,
children. I
and
mean, like, it's really hard.
And even now, like, just me, I feel guilty almost. Like, wow, 5.5 hours to myself to go play golf. It seems odd. On the weekends, I only get to see my wife like a few hours during the day. Like
But you
most
are
people.
playing really well right now, right?
Yeah,
And you
I am
want to
playing
keep
good,
that
but-
up.
Yeah, you do. But it's, again, it just takes a lot of time. And it's,
yeah.
sometimes I'm like,
It sounds fun though when I think about like packing the bag up and going out to my tea
Oh, I
time,
love it.
getting out there in the morning with a couple of my buddies.
I love
The
it.
cart girl
Nothing
drives
in the
by,
way.
Oh,
get myself
Oh,
a couple
yeah,
of
yeah.
big ultras.
Yeah.
Cheers, baby! Tell a dirty joke.
So those
blacked
are the,
out by
Oh my
10:30.
god! Oh, 10:30, and then we end up at Hooters.
Sunburn.
I'm at Hooters. The next thing you know, I'm making out with some Dorito girl. She's swirling it with a
Stop with
Dorito.
They honestly.
Oh God, it tastes so bad. Cool
cart-
Ranch crazy.
The cart girl's the most interesting. They should just call that the Me Too girl.
stop.
Because
Oh, my
it is,
God,
it
that's
is
terrible.
You heard it here
automatic.
You heard it for the Eagle.
Automatic.
Get the cart girl.
It is just unbelievable what people will say to them.
Oh,
I mean,
it's
I've
bad.
played with groups where dudes.
Have you
I
seen
like,
my Instagram?
She's the cart girl of Instagram.
the dudes are. I mean, it's just unbelievable what they feel entitled to say to somebody
Yeah.
they've never met.
I
Yeah.
have been. I will say, and Jimmy speaks the truth. I have been at tournaments that are charity, which everybody should be on best behavior.
one of the
worst.
One of the
Where
worst
I
things.
have heard people say things to cart girls that are older than me. Where I've looked at Tom and said, "Oh my Jesus,
Yeah, that's it.
don't do that."
So, Jimmy, before you hit some balls,
Don't be
because
that guy.
I want to watch you hit. How
Hey.
far can you drive? Is that important? How important is
35 miles to get here today.
that? I told you.
No,
like,
no,
no, no.
I'll send you an invoice.
That's
Don't
a
worry, I'll
pro.
get you an invoice.
That's
You're
a pro
far,
right
you
there.
live too far away.
Should I send
The
that to
woods.
Sam or? So
Yeah, sounds good.
When I hit one good, 55 years old, when I hit one good, I can hit it between 275, 280. If I nuke one in a good wind position, I can kind of near 300.
305.
When you hear people just drop the 300, like, oh yeah, 300, that is far beyond belief. 300 is a much less achievable goal than maybe you hear that number a lot in golf. It is hard. I can hit it pretty darn hard for a guy my age and move it, and I rarely move it to that position.
I've seen guys say exactly what you're talking about, and then they come to places like this, and then
And when-
you kind of see that it's not quite.
Oh, yeah.
And when you
what
play
they've
with
been
somebody who
tracked
can
their
really
ball.
hit it 300, you realize how much farther that is than you hit it. I just played with a kid about 2 months ago, and this kid moves it.
Yeah.
And I hit one on the nuts. I was like, I can't hit it any harder
Yeah.
than that. I can't make
And
it
you
go
can
any
hear it,
farther.
right?
And
You
this
can
guy,
tell.
this guy flew my ball. It
Wow.
flew over where I was.
Wow.
Is it
he wasn't
just-
just rolling it
Oh
past.
no,
he
dude!
was.
It's nuke.
Can you get stronger and hit it farther, or is
It's
it?
club head speed, and it really is. It's fluidity, and it's the ability to.
You're not smooth, so
Yeah,
you're never
you're
going to
gonna
get
get
there.
screwed.
dude.
It's just got to be fluid, and it's how you.
And I'm not saying that to be mean. It's just I have never seen you do anything smooth.
No.
You couldn't put chocolate syrup on ice cream smooth
but-
if you wanted
but
to.
like you got these guys like Charles Barkley that's got the weirdo
Yeah, he's
swing,
wow.
and he's terrible.
Yeah,
I mean, he's
a-
absolutely awful.
But he can hit it.
He's
I
an
would play that
alien.
guy for my kids' lives.
okay, but
I would.
I would be super happy if I could even hit it like Charles Barkley. Like,
well, you could. You could.
No.
You could get it to a point where you could just play daily. Absolutely, you could.
I bet within 3 lessons, I could have you hitting it pretty solid. Again, it's you conceptualize things. Half the thing with golf is listening to the person that's telling you something, and then just kind of mimicking that, and not trying to kind of wheel your own thing in, and then you can get it going.
But listening is a really hard thing for him. Like I know.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like Tommy and Max and Maisie, he'll go, I got it.
All right,
show you how it's done.
we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to turn the ball tracking technology on and see how far
Dude,
Jimmy's
I
hitting
am
this
so
thing.
impressed with this place. Like, I'm literally freaking out. I have to bring Maisie here.
And by the way, this is right down the street from one of the coolest places in Orlando. But have you ever been to Boxy Park?
Yeah.
Oh, they
To go
told me
hang
about
out,
it.
dude. Boxy Park is one of the. It is such a killer idea and a spot. It's literally 3 blocks that way.
I'll go check
so
it
when
out.
you come here, you can hang out and go check
It's
all
a
that
neat
stuff out.
area, man.
Yeah,
It feels like Florida out here.
Well, again, we're in Drive Shack in Lake Nona. You can go to driveshackorlando.com and find out everything.
Yes, sir.
And but we'll come back and we'll be hitting some balls.